All right. Greetings, readers and travelers. My name is Richie Stevens.
I'm Joel.
I'm Jess.
And this is our very first launch party. Joel, do you want to go ahead and introduce
Let's go.
Yes.
Well, yeah, let's get to it. We got the amazing wizard behind the keyboard, amazing at Magic the Gathering. Rit. Where she? There she is.
Hello, everyone.
Rin Smith, everybody.
Yay!
And joining us for the very first time, this is someone we've been trying to get on the show since I met them at DragonCon last year. I recognize them with their amazing voice behind Mimicking Me. They've also, I don't know, they've done some pretty good books. Like, let's say A Stand, today's very special episode of Flamespitter, the rootin' tootin' cowboy shooting, Mr. Ryan Reed. Ryan,
That's right.
how we doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm glad we got to do this, and to be the first launch party. I'm truly honored.
Yeah, this is something we didn't think was gonna happen. We weren't sure how we were gonna do this, and it happened. Like, this is pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that I was gonna do a launch party. I didn't want to step on any toes or anything like that because I know like Sound Booth has their thing, but we love Ren so much. We had to steal her for the night.
I think it's a really good probably break for both Rin and my nerves about the day, because we're not sitting on Amazon pressing refresh to see what the ranking is doing or anything. I promise we haven't done that all day or been sending screenshots to each other all day.
So Amazon totally updates every even hour. Just saying.
We might know that or something.
So before we dive strictly into the episode for tonight, if you are watching this on Facebook, please click the link to our YouTube channel or come over to our Twitch page, so that way we can see your comments. Because I see we have some people over on Facebook. I see JD, I see BJ, and I see Daniel Wisniewski. They're all over there. Guys, come over to YouTube. I want to see your comments. The link's right there in the description. Also, yes, I did say I was going to be babyface for this episode. I lied. I wanted to keep the mustache for the cowboy. Look, it didn't work. I might go shave this off. I don't know.
Midstream.
I don't have a mustache, so I had to get one for the hat.
I know.
There you go.
So
see,
cute.
it works.
Very cute.
It works. See, Joel was supposed to get the big, like, Turd Ferguson SNL hat, the big foam cowboy hat.
Yeah.
So
your hat is kind of like the passing of. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
But then I went to Party City and I saw this one with LEDs, and I was like, "Oh, Magic Cowboy, get."
Yes, exactly.
No one told me we were dressing up for the party, so
see, that was the whole point. We wanted to surprise you.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a fun surprise.
Yeah, and I had I just was like, I thought of it separately, and I was like, I don't have a cowboy hat anywhere. I was like, I need to. Well, at least I have flannel. Okay, we'll go with that.
See, I was just gonna wear a Lit RPG shirt, which I'm actually wearing underneath this, and Joel hopped on. He had the vest and the shirt on. I was like, son of a bitch. All right, I'll go grab mine really quickly. It's just
I may have gotten way too into cosplay. Sorry.
We're gonna have some fun with this. And then of course we got Daniel going yee.
And also
ha. So let's we've had some really good releases from Ren this year. We've had 3 so far.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, technically 4. Because today we got a cinematic audio of episode 1 for for Ren's first release of the year, which is Aced. Which, if you guys have not read Aced, you need to. You can pick it up on Audible or the Sound Theater platform.
It's so good.
It's fantastic.
It is by far one of the best.
Yeah, I was gonna say it actually
Lit
might
RPG.
Not be on Audible now. It might just be on Sound Booth, I think.
Is it not on Audible now?
It might have been pulled, yeah.
Yeah.
With the,
I am going to look really quickly.
Yeah.
Nope, it's still there.
Okay, fierce. Is it for?
I think
Audible
it's just.
or for
I think
the
it's
audio?
just it's not exclusive anymore.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's just not exclusive.
Yeah,
it
so
is
that's
still on
what it
Audible.
was.
I barely pay attention in meetings. Let's be very clear.
Okay, So JD, hold on. I had to come up with something to tag Geneva. That's the whole gimmick of when I say Geneva approved this post.
Mm-hmm.
I did something violent last time, so I had to do something about my facial hair because she always yells at me. So,
In what direction does she yell at you? Normally that she wants more of it or wants it gone?
Oh no, she wants it gone. Like
always, she just wants you to stay like child form.
Yeah, child face and everything. So, because she says my mustache looks very porn starry.
She's not wrong.
Okay, like
he's right.
I also just don't really get a full facial hair like Ryan does. Like his just looks way too good.
Well, thank you. It's
Yeah.
honestly, it took so long to get the upper. I was like a late bloomer on the upper lip, like literally like past mid-20s. So I'm just like really reveling in it now and like not getting rid of it.
So you just had this.
Oh yeah. So for my first production in college that I was in, it was we did Macbeth, and we found out our parts beginning of the year, and Macbeth was the last slot. It was like December 14th or something like that, and they were like, if you're cast in this, no shaving from now until the end. We want the full scraggly thing. And I'm freshly 18. And all that came in was my performance was stolen by my Amish neck beard that I had growing for just barely hanging on to just only the bottom. Like I didn't have any of this. It was basically like
you just cursed us. You cursed us.
Oh, because I said Macbeth.
Yeah, you
I'm not in a theater.
Stop it.
Hey, this is our theater, okay?
And it's not if I'll just say it a third time and make it like Beetlejuice style.
There we go.
Summon the ghost of Lady M.
Ugh, God, no, please. Our rival high school, my senior year, did that as their play.
Mm-hmm.
And so for Shakespeare class, we had to go, for extra credit, sorry, we went over there to watch it, and they actually did a really good job, especially the scene where Mac and Macduff fight towards the end. Like, he jumped off the chair, the throne, like jumped off the throne and did like a downward slash. If those swords wouldn't have met, oh boy, that would have been bad, because they used actual swords.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
Yeah, there was actually, I've done Mackers twice. I did it in college, and then again, actually one of the things that I like really appreciate, bring it into Flamespitter here, that Rin did so beautifully was she wrote interwove like real history, and including like a celebration of the indigenous culture. And I was like, as I was going through, I was like, because some of it is fantasy, so I was like, okay, what is this something woman thing? I was like, typed it in, I was like, these are all like real things from each of the tribes that are mentioned. And I thought it was like one of my favorite parts is just like that full immersion sort of thing. And I especially appreciate it because about, what is it now, 7 years ago, I did a show where we had like full live horses, and it was we did Mackers that summer, but we also did the main production is called Tecumseh, and it's like a enormous outdoor theater, and it's telling the whole story of the Shawnee people that lived in that area of Ohio, and it was such a blast. But I'm spoiled. I can't do Shakespeare without horses.
That's I'm jealous now.
Well, I did get thrown from the horse and, got a
See, I'm terrified of horses,
back,
though.
So.
Yeah, we're talking about a cowboy with RPG.
And you're like, no!
So, Ren, our lovely author of the hour, give us the rundown of the rootin' tootin' cowboy shooting RPG.
I mean, obviously, there are cowboys.
Woo!
What?
But so Flamespitter is it's kind of the love child of like cultivation and those magic systems, and then just the Wild West. Like, I was really trying to capture that essence of like the spaghetti westerns that a lot of people grew up with, that I grew up with, but then tie it into the genres that I've been falling in love with and writing in. And so for the longest time, I had this idea. I'm just like, I want these gunslingers who can like create magical bullets for their guns. And that was just kind of like the idea, playing around with it. And then last year during the summer, I didn't actually have time, but I found some time to sit down and start giving birth to it. And like the world just kind of really took over. I've always had a fascination with history. I love researching things. My job in the military, I was intel, so research is what I do. I'm a nerd. And so the world started weaving, the 1880s. You've got this post-Civil War era. You have, a lot of the former Confederates are turning into outlaws and robbing trains. You have this fledgling government, trying to reshape itself after all of this infighting that's going on. And it just set like the perfect tone for this story where I was just like, we can have this character who's the Avatar with guns. Not really, but
that's
Nice.
kind of how I describe it. It's like Red Dead
Avatar
Redemption with Avatar powers. yeah.
Everyone, I'm going to cut us off for just a second because we just had someone else join the live. And I'm going to be bringing him in because we have another special guest joining us today.
What?
That's right,
I didn't know
Mr.
we
Jeff
had-
Hayes.
Yay!
Stop!
Oh my
Go.
Daddy, I didn't know you were coming. It's
How's it-
my pop
How's it going,
pops.
everybody?
it's Ellen.
What is up, Jeff? I saw
Oh,
him join.
Hefe.
I saw the screen down there, and it was just the empty booth. I look over private chat. BRB, got to go find a hat. So we got the hat crew going on here.
Right. Well, I didn't want to be left out, man. Hold
It's
on.
a real party now.
Welcome.
I gotta.
So
I think I gotta have the headphones, man. I don't
Yeah.
like shit to be.
yeah, that's 100% fine. I luckily was able to hook up my Google Pixel buds to my computer so that way I could hear, because trying to get my studio headphones on, that wasn't going to work. I was getting angry.
Yeah, I
So-
had the whole setting up my Yeti mic that I absolutely hate, but it's working.
That's great.
Is this better?
Just before the show.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
I just turned up, so there you go.
I was gonna say I have you all the way up in StreamYard too, so we should be good there. So we're just talking a little Flamespitter, and
Yeah.
we're gonna be hyping up a few things that released today. So we're starting with Flamespitter, obviously. Jeff, you want to give us your thoughts on Flamespitter real quick?
My thoughts on Flamespitter is I've never seen Rin more excited about any project ever, and probably I've never seen Portal as excited about a project. It was pretty intense negotiation, actually.
I was gonna say, we had to fight
get
for
this
it.
thing
Yeah.
to happen. They were really, but I think when Ryan and I did that sample, and I give so much credit to Ryan for making this production what it is. I mean, Ryan has not been with us for very long, but already he's taken the reins on so many things. He takes initiative, and he absolutely kills the performance. So
Thank you.
kudos to you, man, for bringing it to life in the way you did. But I feel like this is kind of tailor made for you as well. Like almost like Rin had something like this in mind, like doing audio for something. It was just it feels perfectly.
Yeah, it felt like a
done.
perfect match, really. Yeah.
Really.
This was, I think, the most fun I have had on a project thus far, and to be able to and oh my gosh, Dane Frazier with the music on it. I just kind of had this harebrained
man.
idea that I was like to add like to the spaghetti western feel, that sort of like make it feel more episodic, and like where each time you get there, it's like it just perfectly wraps it up. Like I'm so excited how everything turned out, and yeah, couldn't be happier.
I'm all like trying to search Amazon for the damn reviews.
You know what?
That's,
I don't think
that's
any
always
reviews have
my-
gone yet. I've been looking.
So
There's one on Audible. We got no review,
Oh.
but just one. We got a
Yeah.
5-star.
someone beat me to it because I was getting ready to rank it because I finished listening to it before we went live.
Okay.
So
You're
I
a
did it in
monster.
one
It's
sitting.
not even been out for 12 hours. Yeah, actually, no, it has. It has. It
It
has.
is 12 hours
So it
long.
dropped at
Yeah.
3 a.m. my time. I was
Okay,
at work,
okay.
and
Ah.
I was picking my order for the day, and I feel my watch go off. Look at my watch. I was like, oh, it's my coworker texting me. No, it's Ryan talking to me about
Hi.
about the podcast. And I was like, oh. And he goes, oh, we'll throw some samples up. I was like, oh, I could just, pull up Audible or something. He goes, I mean, we have samples, and I sent a screenshot of my phone. I was like, I'm already listening to it.
You're like, currently, I'm literally doing it
Yeah.
right now. Yeah.
I had it hooked up to my Bluetooth speaker in our bin at work, and I was picking my order. So everyone in the bin that was there was listening to Flamespitter this morning.
That's so cool.
Because
Oh, that's
normally
so
someone's
awesome.
like, oh, I got music on, and I normally just have my headphones in. But I was like, no, I got here first. I'm turning on what I want to fucking listen
That's
to.
right.
Well, I feel like it's a great book for that too, because like it's not like lit RPG where it's just a bunch of numbers on sometimes and everybody turns off because they're like, what are you listening to, these spreadsheets? No, it's just like it is this fast-paced Western. Like
I
the
got to
cultivation
the
Which is
spells
funny
into
because
it, but-
at Sound Booth we actually put all of our scripts into Excel. So when I get to the when I get to listing stats, I'm like, what am I doing? Like I'm in an Excel spreadsheet. Narrating.
Oh, so Ryan's an accountant. Got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, so one of the guys that's at the bin, he's a family friend. I've known him since I was probably like 7 or 8 years old. He came down because we were getting a delivery, and he thought there were 2 delivery drivers, and they were talking to each other. I was like, no, I'm listening to this, because before that I was actually listening to Delvers LLC because I had to stay on the sound booth, like, motto. So for an hour, classic sound booth, classic Jeff Hayes. Actually, let's be real, classic Jeff Hayes.
Delvers, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as 3 o'clock hit, I was like, cool, download. All right, it's ready, and play. I think before I left, I got to the train scene and got all the way through that, and they were like, okay, I kind of need the name of this book because this actually sounds really good. And I was like, oh, cool. So
Yay.
here's the title. This is what the cover looks
evangelization.
like.
That's what I'm talking about.
Spreading the gospel.
I
Yeah,
hype it
exactly.
up.
The gospel according to Rin.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got 4 more books of it coming. So
This is when I say this is Ren's best writing, I'm not even kidding. I've read this book 3 times now.
Oh, that's
Because I did the original draft last year, and Ren, you added what, about 50,000 words?
about 30.
Okay, I was close. I was like, I know it's above 10, but it's below 100, so I'm just gonna go for the middle. And this book is just absolutely freaking fantastic. And Ryan, Jeff, Andrea, even though you're not here, this is amazing. You guys did such a good freaking job.
Well,
I cannot praise you guys enough.
Yeah, you
I'm
really
not
knocked
gonna
it out of the
lie.
park.
I was so stoked. I was like, hey, Jeff, do you think I could ask Andy to be on this, please? And so I was just like, I was listening to their samples, putting in my stuff, and it was a couple times that I would go in and re-record based on what they did, because it's like, oh, that's slightly different than what I imagined. That's awesome. And then go back in and tweak. And I just had to sit back and be like, 2 years ago, when I was sitting there listening to these big productions that Jeff is on and Andy is on, and being like, wow, I get to do that now. That is incredible. And that they're playing opposite me is the most fun ever.
The moment you were like, we got Andy for this, I was sitting here, I just sat back and I was like, but I don't have that many female characters. They don't have that many talking roles. Like, this is underutilizing Andy.
Well, book 2, baby. We just had to hook her in early.
Right? Yeah, I was gonna say book 2. She's gonna get a lot more screen time. But I was just like, I don't have enough for her.
Oh, she makes a meal out of what you gave her.
Oh yeah, it's so good.
She always does.
Andy cooks in every scene. As soon as I heard her voice as Miss Watts, I was like, oh no, let her cook. She's about to steal every scene she's in.
She actually mentioned that she was intimidated by Ryan's skills there. So when she first introduced herself, when she got her first lines as Miss Emma Watts, she said she had to re-record it so many times because she wanted to get it perfect because of how Ryan had done it.
Aww.
That's some of the highest praise I've ever gotten. That's crazy.
No, when we say makes a meal of or let them cook, we're letting them cook, because we know it's going to be a 5-course meal right there. It is going to be Gordon Ramsay's going to love this.
Okay.
No, I think she did an amazing counterpoint to
Steve
her narration.
Stripper author Steve Rowland.
Howdy, howdy.
Hey.
How many singles?
Oh, right.
I might have a few.
I think I'm gonna go to the club after this. Get some
Yeah.
You should like at least like a honky tonk or something.
right,
Damn it, Joel.
Absolutely.
right.
I should have
Like
got the
this would
construction
kill at a
outfit out.
club.
Like the minute Cotton Eye Joe comes on, it's your moment, my friend. Like you take that stage.
I could do it. I'd do it.
I would pay to see that.
Just gotta break
gonna
out
be
the
our-
boot scootin' boogie.
That's gonna be our
Mhm.
outfits for Jordan Con.
I will walk around and play Cotton Eye Joe on my phone. On
Oh,
speaker.
I'll be stomping to it the entire time. That song gets me hyped.
That is too funny.
So, all right, I've shared my thoughts on the book because obviously I love this damn book. Joel, you kind of
yeah,
came
no.
in a little late. You didn't get to beta read it like Jess and I did. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, like I picked it up. Well, I started listening to it. I don't know. It was late because I like slept all last night. We went to Nashville yesterday, and I picked it up
Indiana, not
probably
Tennessee.
like 8 o'clock this morning, and tried to just like listen to it all day long, nonstop. And oof, it is fantastic. I love the cultivation aspects of it. I love the Western aspects of it. One thing I was going to say earlier, because we were talking about the narration, is I think Andy did an amazing counterpoint to your narration, Ryan, because yours is like this gruff Western, like slow voice, and her character has more like passionate, like really emotional. Like she's
She's a bit more forthcoming with her emotions. Like, yeah, my character is definitely like keeps it all close to the chest. And
Yeah.
she's passionate about this town. You know, she's passionate about
yeah,
her-
that
what
is
she loves,
exactly
that
what I'm
sort of
trying
thing.
to get at.
And she's like
Um,
forceful and leads with her emotion,
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
which considering, her relations.
And
makes
just
sense.
the two together just played an amazing counterpoint to each other.
Well, it goes with one of the quotes from the book, and that's what Mr. Jones says: is in the West, you can't show any weakness.
Yeah. Mhm.
That's like early on in the book too. I think like chapter like 4 or 5 that
Mhm,
he
mhm.
drops that, because yeah, the Wild West is brutal, and this is what post Civil War.
Yeah, so it's in the 1880s. So post Civil War, you've got the whole rail rush going. We've got the railways building from the east to the west, and the west to the east. They're going to meet up in the middle. So that's part of the actual storyline. Carries us from starting out in Missouri, and it's going to end up in California. So I get to run across America and play with all
We
the
have to
different
run north for a little bit first.
we're running north bit in book 2, but it's playing with the different cultures and like really the different characters and everybody that like built America during that time. So we're going to get some interaction with the indigenous tribes. We're going to get some interaction with the like Mexican ranchers down south. We're going to get interaction with the people from China who are coming to work on the rail system. There might be some Shanghai shenanigans going on once we hit California. Just really, I mean, there might be cannibals in the Rockies. Who knows?
That is some absolute hype right there.
All right, so how do I put this in the politest terms? I need all 5 books injected into my veins now.
It is.
Ren, with all due respect, hurry the hell up. I need these
Yeah.
books.
No, normally I work on like multiple projects at a time. The moment I finish editing for Dungeon Core Online 5, my sole focus is going to be Elemental Dungeon series. I mean, not Elemental Dungeon, Elemental Gunslinger. This is what
I
happens.
have
There we
those
go.
up here too.
This is what happens when
So-
you drink on a podcast.
I was gonna say, Ren, that's a completed series already.
Yeah, well, there's another book coming out for that later on too. But
Hold the fuck up! What?
what?
I love the Elemental Dungeon.
But yeah,
Me
so
too.
it's I have every intention to get the next 4 books of Elemental Gunslinger out extremely quickly. Like I want to have the rough draft at least for the second book done by the end of the year, so we can launch book 2 early next year and just keep moving from there and have it all done by the end of the year next year.
Good.
That is the goal.
It's not fast
Are you
enough.
saying you want to write all 4 books that are left within
Span of a year.
2025?
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool.
I mean, and to put that in perspective, like I said, I was working on Flamespitter, Resonance, Dungeon Core Online 5, and I also did 150,000 words in Infinite Tower last year. So that was just my scatterbrained ADHD. So if I hyper focus in on a single storyline, it's pretty easy to do.
That's amazing. Just the amount of work you
Yeah.
put out.
That's impressive.
And what are we talking about? Like 130 each?
Yeah, I was gonna say they should sit around that 100, 115, 130,000 range. That's
Excellent.
at least the goal. That's a range that I feel comfortable with. Like the Dungeon Core Online books, I felt like got kind of long, and I don't like writing those honking. Book 3 was like 226,000 words, and it's just rough. I feel like
I'm looking.
I let the
book 3
stories
on my shelf right now, and
yeah.
it's,
I like to let it.
monster.
It's big.
I like to let a story tell itself, and I found that for the most part, the stories feel like they come to their completion in that 110 to 130,000 range, and then it just comes down to like fine tuning and tweaking and editing to really give it life. But yeah, I don't feel the need to like ramble on. I don't want to like put words in just to make it look like words,
Right.
because I feel like the readers can notice that too. Like they're just like, oh, this dragged at this point, or there's just all of this extra stuff for no reason. And especially Flamespitter and the Elemental Gunslinger series, I want them to be that fast-paced outlaw of the week. Just, you know, it's a ride, and so once you're on it till the end. And you know, that's not a 20-hour book. That is that sweet spot of like that 12 to 15 hour. Just you're getting it in a single day, but it's an adventure that you're not going to forget.
Yeah.
Unless you drink
I
enough
think-
and then you listen to it again.
Yeah. There you go.
I was gonna say, and I think westerns typically are like shorter.
Yeah, I think
So-
so.
Yeah.
I that's what I like about the genre, about the format, is that it caters to shorter stories.
Yeah.
I like tight stories. I like
And
things that are self-contained. and
like, don't get me
episodic.
wrong, I love a good like longer book. Like if it's a 20-hour book, I enjoy a good 20-hour book every once in a while. But ones that are like between the like 7.5 hours to about 14 hours, ones I can listen to in really roughly a day. Those are my go-to, because I know I'm going to get like that hook that just grabs me in. Like Flamespitter, I listened to it entirely today, and also the first episode of Aced on the Soundbooth app. One sitting for both of them, which I mean,
Nice.
Aced was only an hour long, but
Yeah.
I was refreshing the app like periodically throughout the day, and as soon as it dropped, I was like, "Yep, I need it, please."
Oh, excuse me. Did we? Did you guys already talk about East?
No, I was
Not
gonna say,
yet.
I was gonna
No.
say, I think he's
I was-
segueing into that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say before
Interesting.
we dive into that, and actually do a little sample to give the listeners a sample of Ryan's amazing performance. Jess, let's hear from you.
I love that it started in St. Louis because that's my hometown. So
Oh, cool.
I loved it. Gateway to the West.
Yeah.
My favorite part was, unlike in just about every other book, the MC in this one doesn't like his powers. Like, he considers it a curse.
Mhm.
He hates it.
Mhm.
That's not something that you find in almost any other book that I've read. Everyone always like
Everyone's always like, badass, I get to do
the
this
more
now.
powerful I am, the better. And he's just like, no, this is horrible. I hate this.
What? So what is it that he hates about it specifically?
He just feels like being that strong and having all 4 of these elements is just a curse. Like, it's more power than one person needs to have, I feel like. he thinks.
Yeah, because it's pretty much everyone has one element and to
Yeah.
some degree, and it's most people are quite weak in their size of their core, their ability, and
Yeah,
then
like little
they're,
dimes or pennies.
yeah.
And
And then there's some that have like these big old cores and that sort of thing, and then very, very rarely someone has two affinities where they can maybe control fire and air or water and earth or something.
Yeah.
But our little avatar boy can do all of it.
he has all four.
Oh,
And
Yeah.
when he looks at his own, he does mention that he doesn't know what other people see when they look at his. When he looks at his own, it's like his entire body lights up, not just a dinner
And
plate size or a quarter size, but like all of him.
Yeah, and it's been since his birth that he's been aware of that. This makes him other, and this makes him a target, and pretty much just used less as a person and more as a weapon. And so it's what it led to his parents' death. It led to I don't want to give away a lot, but it's the main crux of a lot of his issues.
So
Yeah.
so
He
his
basically
strength
tries to hide.
his strength
Is his
attracts
weakness, kind
unwanted attention.
Yeah.
Right.
Is the
Yes.
problem.
Yeah.
Got
It puts a target on his back.
It's like Zuko looking for Aang. Like that's just the best way to.
Yeah.
Since we're just gonna stick with the Avatar
Yeah.
trope, that's the best way to go about it.
Except for
Yeah.
we're flipping it, and Aang has got a murder spree planned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah,
whole
he ain't no
book-
weak boy that don't like to
Yeah,
kill
so the
people.
the whole book, he's worried about people finding out how strong he is and how he's going to hide it. And I see it progressing farther and farther in these books where eventually he's going to be found out. And I'm
How's that
curious
gonna-
to see how that
Yeah.
goes.
The Avatar,
with it.
but Kyoshi's at the wheels.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Let's just give Kyoshi guns and call it a day. That island's getting wiped.
Yeah.
So, I think we should hear a little sample. Bryn, which chapter are we going to hear?
So it's going to be a sample from chapter 15.
All right.
Awesome.
Let me make sure I don't break this. Entire screen 2, share.
Mr. Westbrook is fine. The war is behind me, and I'm no longer a colonel. Though, I'd argue being Miss Emma's personal security is a much more demanding task.
The wheels were spinning in my head now. If she had a man of his caliber as her personal bodyguard, it meant she didn't just come from money. Her uncle had to be one of the most powerful men in the nation, politically and financially, to employ Clint Westbrook. If I may, ma'am, I turned my attention back to Miss Emma, who was scowling in a most adorable fashion at her bodyguard, seeming completely unfazed that the man was a living Grim Reaper. Forgive my ignorance, and it may be presumptuous to ask, but who is your uncle? Her scowl deepened, now directed at me, and I decided I did not like her looking at me in such a way.
William V. Watts.
Ooh, her tone was bitter.
I'm sure you've heard of him. Everyone has.
Heard of him was an understatement. When it came to the railroad tycoons, there was one more notorious than the rest. One who had gained the term robber baron and seemed to revel in it. William V. Watts, otherwise known as Bloody Bill. The alarms in my mind were ringing. If there was one person, one family that I didn't need to get involved with, it was his. His nickname alone had been garnered due to the tales, the whispers of all those he had killed to rise to power. Some even insinuated he'd killed his own brother, though no one could prove it, of course. And if that were the case, I didn't want to get involved with anyone related to that man. Ah, right, well then, I tipped my hat to her and took a step backward. I apologize for keeping you from your business this morning. If you'll excuse me, Miss Watts, I'll be, on my way. I was half turned before she stopped me.
Before you go, sir, you've the pleasure of knowing who we are. At the very least, I would like to know your name.
Jones, I said, trying quickly to remove myself from this situation. Mr. Jones. I managed another step, tipping my hat as I worked to take my leave. Before I felt the hairs on my arm stand up, a prickling running down my back.
It would seem, Mr. Jones.
Clint's voice made me flinch, glance back. His eyes seemed to bore into my very soul.
You're actually our business this morning.
Well, all I could do as I turned back around was mumble under my breath. Shit.
Don't forget to unmute yourself now.
There we go.
I'm unmuting everyone. I was going through.
Those chapter endings that Dane did are so good. So good.
So good.
Also, I just realized, having listened to it, I forgot to tell you to turn off like the mic suppression thing, because that's not what the audio sounds like, guys. I promise. It doesn't like it. At least what I was hearing was kind of coming in and out a little bit, but yeah, I forgot when you do on StreamYard, you gotta like there's like a mic suppression or something. I don't know. Ahmed usually runs it.
Party interests, Geneva. So no, that was really good, and the music blending into the background just like really helps set the scene, and that happens a lot throughout the book. Like I feel like I'm there with the music just going a little bit in the background. And
Yeah,
it's
just faint
well,
enough.
Let me tell you, when I talked to Dane about it, it was just every idea that either of us had. It was just kind of this yes and he was so incredibly down to just like I was like, he started with guitar. And then I was like, hey, do you play banjo or maybe fiddle? What about a harmonica? And then he even found on his keyboard and a way to make it sounds just like an old saloon piano that's a little out of tune, you know, and it sounds perfect. He did such an incredible job. I couldn't be happier.
It's really good. And I can't remember how I worded it properly. But just the sound design and sound engineering for this book, and actually pretty much every sound booth theater release I've listened to this year have been top notch. They just keep getting better and better.
That's the one that I take to heart the most, because this is my first one that I did all the sound engineering on, and so I'm really excited that
Ryan
it holds up.
Like,
Thank you.
Right, like hey, when we met last year at Dragon Con, and as soon as you said, "Oh yeah, I'm Ryan Reed," I was like, "Wait, hold on, mimicking me, Ryan?" Yeah,
you are one of the first people in my life that's ever been like, I know who you are based on something you have done, and that was such a cool moment. I will forever love you for that, Richie.
Well, that's how I felt, because like Justin came up to me, and this was the first time I had met Justin in person. Like I had a Zoom call with Jeff and Justin last year, and just interacting with them. And then he came up to me, started telling me how much he loves the show and everything, like getting me emotional. And then he brings you over and it's like, oh yeah, this is Ryan Reed. I had to like snap out of my emotions real quick and went hype level completely, because mimicking me was fucking fantastic.
It's so good.
I will die on that hill.
How long ago did 3 come out? Just a couple weeks?
Just
2 weeks.
2 weeks ago.
today.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just came out. And
It's my next listen.
I haven't listened to that one yet, but
Jeff, I gotta
make
say, and I'm not just blowing smoke here. You ate it up in this one. I've been listening because I like to listen to something like just to have some sort of noise on as I'm falling asleep, and Jeff's the perfect noise to fall asleep to. No.
No.
But like I'll just kind of listen. I'm like, because I'm like, it's been a while since I've gone through every file and everything, so I was like, yeah, let's just put that on. And I'm telling you, I've heard the jokes, I've read the damn book, but like some of what you mine from simple words, and I'm just sitting there dying, and I can't go to sleep to it because I'm laughing. Yeah,
People have done worse to Jeff's books.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
All I heard
Richie.
from that was that Ryan falls asleep to Jeff's voice.
Yeah, people do worse.
I
People
turn
do
an
worse to
audiobook
Jeff's
on to
voice.
go to sleep.
Hey, I gotta
set
earn
the
that
timer.
paycheck.
Mimicking me is doing short things, right? Like you were saying, just little bursts of words, 2, 3 words, maybe just one, maybe not even words, but just
Glurbling.
yeah, right? Like everything, you have to do it with intention,
Yeah.
right? In order to sell it.
Yes.
And so I think that's what makes it the best exercise for acting. because you're dealing with the smallest amount of material possible, and you're trying to get as much information out of it as you possibly can with just your performance, right? So with like, if you have a speech, right, the composition is kind of spelled out for you, right? If you have one or two little syllables.
Well, I was just seeing on Facebook, someone was saying that they now hear your voice, and it's just the two words "oh, okay," but the way that Chester always said, "Oh, okay," like it's just like, and people, that's iconic now.
So when I had tuned into the Sound Booth Theater Live that you guys did right before Mimic and me launched, that's how I found out about the book. I was like, oh, a new Mimic book with Jeff. I thought it was Jeff that was going to be the main narrator on it, and then I saw Ryan Reed, and I was like, oh, well, who's this? This is the first book I'm going to be listening to by this guy. Sold. I was instantly sold. Heard it, I was like, oh, this is good. This is really good. Heard Jeff's Chester voice, sold even more. So
You know,
fantastic.
I'm really glad Ryan is around to like do all the heavy lifting for that series.
I don't know though. It's sometimes when I see how many lines you have, I'm like, it's kind of like you're narrating your own book too.
Yeah, it's close actually because I insist on making it hard for myself by layering all the voices. Like when I'm doing Chester's voice, I can't just go straight through. I have to like record it in chunks and edit it together so that it sounds like you can kind of imagine several mouths kind of like popping out and saying things like in a different way, because they all have different accents and different ways of speaking. So you have to imagine that coming out of the same entity, but it's tripping all over itself with excitement out of just existing, you know. So that's the weirdest thing about this character, and something it shares with like Chrysalis is the pure positive energy. There's like a brattiness to Chester.
Oh yeah.
Right?
He's a little shit.
He's a little shit. But he's still like completely having the time of his life the whole time. Even those moments where it gets emotional and like he, you know, thinks about his last friend, you know, shit like that. He really does fall into like real sadness. So he's a real character, but he's in general just positive.
It really sets the tone when they're in the dungeon. He had just had his first meal. We'll put it into that blatant terms. He just had his first meal, and you know, the main character's in danger, and he's like, no, I'm just gonna take a nap. I'm just gonna
That's him exactly. It's so fun getting to play that frustration, because I get to that part, I'm like, oh, I hate that he does that. Like, I, Ryan, hate that he's like taking a nap right now. So I'm like, ooh, Chester, you son of a bitch.
But what I was gonna say is, Sound Booth has narrated and released, I want to say, 3 so far of my top 10 reads of the year.
Oh wow.
Awesome.
And Jeff, you are on all 3 of them, and possibly going to be on number. Oh, well, I don't know if number 4 is going to be up there, but hold on. No, wait. You've released 4.
I'm all over.
You've released 4 because one's not out yet, so the 5th one might be on there. But Unexpected Hero, which comes out next week.
Next Tuesday.
I can't fucking wait. I'm waiting to hear back from Steve and Rhett on a watch party for that one. Just a fun little episode next week. But Flamespitter, Demon Card Enforcer, Time Marked Warlock, and Aced. All in my top 10 reads of the year because they are fucking that good. They are that fucking good.
I'm so glad.
I got 50% of those.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Not surprising.
So,
That's
but
so
I mean,
cool.
like, these are quality content books.
Yeah.
And
I'll tell you, you don't have a long while to wait for Demon Card 2 and Time Marked 2. Like those
I got to talk to Jeff about Time Marked at Dragon Con.
Yeah, I was gonna say
when
the
we were
Snowballs
walking.
are they're cranking stuff out.
Yeah.
Which
They're killing
they
it.
both, and I, of course, had to grab them off my shelf.
I was gonna say Shami's books actually got me through the hurricane. 'cause we were
Nice.
without
Oh,
power
wow.
for 6 days. So
Oh,
I was just
right.
I was reading the
I'm just
Frith
imagining you in
Chronicles.
like an Ebenezer Scrooge style, like, and like by candlelight, just
Yeah,
reading your...
I had just gotten like her special edition that had the first two in the bestiary.
Oh,
and
the
it just come in
bestiary
the mail.
for First Chronicles.
Ah, nice.
So I just sat down. I was like, well, I don't have power. Time to read. And yeah, I got through like 5 of the 8 books of the Frith Chronicles over the 6 days.
So, quick little fun side note, real quick.
I thought we've been on
If
side
you-
notes.
If
Yes.
one of our viewers, or 2 of our viewers actually, would like to win a copy of Flamespitter, tomorrow we will be picking a winner. If you just comment either Kindle or ebook or audiobook in the comments, message me on Facebook, or come to our page on Facebook, the Chat and Stats page. We have a group now, so just come over there. Just like comment on a post, say audiobook or Kindle. The Stats crew will send you one. We're gonna pick a winner tomorrow at, let's say, 8:00 Eastern time. So in 24 hours.
Yeah, PM,
Just
not
comment.
AM.
Yeah, PM, 24 hours. So just pick, and we'll know. If you do it on YouTube, please message me on Facebook. It'll show up as a message request, and just say what your YouTube name is, so that way I know how to get in contact with you. I should have thought that through a little bit more. But we want to give back to
Giveaways
the
are hard.
community.
Yeah.
And we this book is really good, and I don't want it to be slept on because it's a damn good book.
Yeah, I want
And
everyone to
Soundbooth
read it.
did an amazing job with
Me
it.
too, honey. Me too.
I'm really glad we got to do it. I'm
So
looking
excited
forward
you
to-
guys did.
Yeah.
When
Yeah,
Ren
just
told me it was
read.
you guys like doing the book, which I think was before the official announcement, so I had to keep my big mouth
Trap
shut. But
Yeah.
like I was holding that in. I didn't even tell Joel. Like Ren came to me and was like, "I think I got Ryan to do it." And I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
Yeah, I was
It's
gonna say
exciting, it's
I
exciting.
was fighting for Soundbook
Yeah,
to do it.
big props to you because originally, and it's a business decision, and I completely understand. But they kind of just wanted one traditional narrator that gets the per finished hour rate and sends them on their way. But yeah, Jeff, I think you were right in saying, like, I think once we threw that audition together, they're like, oh, okay, so that's what it could be. Gotcha, okay.
Right.
You guys really killed it.
And that's the way we
Yeah.
got to do it, right? Like, the way that we operate is we're just like, okay, well, we'll just prove it by doing it, and what we do speaks for itself, pretty much. So that's always been a way that I've gotten jobs that I really wanted throughout my career. It's still hard to get jobs, but you got to go that extra mile if you want to show people that it's worth it
Well,
to choose you as the narrator.
then it's just exciting because like I love everything that Soundbook Theater does. Like audiobook wise, I consume more of their books than like anyone else.
Same.
But
Same.
so when I actually have a project that they want, like I'm super excited for it. I'm just like, my stuff's good enough.
Yes.
Sound Booth wants
my-
something that I wrote.
My first book of Ren's was a Soundbooth Theater book. Elemental Dungeon, the Bone Dungeon. And shout out to Will Watt. He did an amazing job on that series. And oh god, I love it so much. And yeah. So, but I think there's another title that got released today that I think we should give a little love to,
Yeah.
because
absolutely.
the cinematic audio.
Oh, and I do have a
Episode
sample of
1.
that if we just want to tease something.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
just give a little sample of it, because this book deserves all the love.
Yeah, do we want to give
yeah.
any kind of like precursor? So
Okay, yeah,
Um,
Ren, you give a better one, because I tried to sell it to Joel. It didn't work until he actually listened to the book and he went, "Oh shit, this is good."
Yeah.
It's like what, like a precursor of what it is.
Yeah, give a little snippet of like.
I mean,
what's
so
the book
it's
about?
like Aced in general. Is that
Yeah.
what we're talking? Okay. So Aced is a slice of life tennis lit RPG, where essentially the main character is reverse isekai, as in he gets hit by a truck, doesn't die, but keeps the powers. And as any 14-year-old boy does when they find out they have cosmic superpowers that makes them able to become awesome at anything. He decides to learn how to play tennis to impress the girl. Because hormones.
So
But
boys-
it is my kind of like love relationship when it comes to sports anime. I love sports anime. I've been a big fan of them for as long as I can remember. And I actually started playing tennis in 2020 and fell in love with it. So combined the two together to create Aced. And it's just been a blast to write. It's just literally just a fun slice of life. This kid is just learning how to play tennis and all the shenanigans that happen in high school along the way with that. There's been a joke running between Jeff and I about a fantasy version of it later on,
Where he actually goes.
where he actually ends up in a fantasy world, but with all of his tennis skills mastered. So like, he's like,
And he's like taking like grenades and poof.
yeah. So he's like,
That would be sick, actually.
He's like, I summons a fireball in his hand that's the shape of like a tennis ball, and then it's like, I've got 100% slice skill, so I'm gonna slice this, and it's gonna like go 80
Careen around the wall
careen
and,
around
like,
a wall,
yes.
and blow up in the enemies. And his weapon is a specialized tennis racket that has an axe blade on it. So he's using his like any close combat is his tennis swings.
I like it.
Sold.
So
Yeah.
he's a
Signed, sealed, delivered.
he's like
It
an
could be
arcane
more like-
archer spell sword.
What about that Maori weapon? You know, where they
with
they
the-
like put shark teeth on it.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, so he's essentially like an arcane archer / spell sword cross that's utilizing tennis skills with all of his magic spells. So like every spell he summons is in the shape of a compact like tennis ball.
Yeah.
I like
But
this
I-
idea.
Yeah,
I like it.
But for the version we do actually have,
For the version we have.
I will say Richard Smith did an incredible job incorporating that anime feel. Like when you're in the tennis matches, it sounds like the ball, like it's very visual in the audio, if that makes sense, and it's very cool. And Ahmed, with the help of Guillaume Leon, wrote an overture and an ending song that are both so sick. It's really, really cool.
Oh,
Rin
good.
didn't give me the heads up about that, so as soon as I started listening to it, I went, "There's a fucking anime opener. What the shit is this?"
I was like,
and
we're
I got
cutting the
super
credits.
pumped.
No opening credits. This is an overture, and
Yeah.
let's get into it.
It pumped
But,
me up.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. But so the section that we have right now is you're going to actually get to hear the Truckun moment.
Oh, okay.
All right, so let's share the screen again.
It's a race to the courts.
Without warning, Peter took off, pulling the duffel bag straps over his shoulders like some awkward backpack. His long legs dug powerfully into the ground, increasing the distance between Dan and Peter with each step. That's cheating! Regaining his senses, and with no other option than to follow Peter,
I think actually we probably should.
He held the racket awkwardly in one hand. He propelled himself forward. He hadn't stretched.
Here, give it a pause real quick.
Yeah.
By
Give it a
all
pause.
means, his clothes.
It is getting eaten up. It sounds like.
Yeah, if Rich, whoever's in charge of the overlord of this stream,
that's me.
If you can, I think it's in settings.
Yeah.
And audio settings, and then it would be like either echo cancellation. Make sure everything is off on Rin's, or Rin. You can, I think, also do it yourself. Maybe go into the settings and audio and
do hers because it won't let me do.
Yeah, I have
It just lets me
echo
edit name.
cancellation, reduce mic background.
Yeah, make sure all of that is off.
Oh, off? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm
Try
new
it now.
here.
Let's see if it.
It's a race to the courts.
Without warning, Peter took off, pulling the duffel bag straps over his shoulders like some awkward backpack. His long legs dug powerfully into the ground, increasing the distance between Dan and Peter with each step. That's cheating! Regaining his senses, and with no other option than to follow Peter, Dan took off as fast as he could. He held the racket awkwardly in one hand as he propelled himself forward. He hadn't stretched, he hadn't warmed up, and by all means his clothes weren't ideal for this. However, something about Peter had gotten to him. Was it the cocky confidence, the fun-loving, carefree smile, or something else? Whatever it was, the competitive side of Dan had been called forth, and he'd be damned if he wasn't going to give it his all. Peter hit the sidewalk and practically leapt off it into the street, his pace not slowing. Dan was gaining on him, though, the weight of the duffel bag obviously slowing Peter down. His feet hit the sidewalk, his legs jarring from the sudden change from grass to concrete. He didn't care, and used the sturdier footing to dig in all the harder. His heels kicked off the curb, propelling him even farther into the street. Peter was 30 feet ahead of him, but he was gaining every step. He lowered his head, urging himself forward, springing off his toes as he pushed into a full-out sprint. 20 feet now. Dan was in the middle of the street, with Peter having just hit the sidewalk. 15 feet. Like a vaulter, his force sent him forward.
Heck yeah. We need Ahmed on here because it was still a little odd on the audio, but that did help it. Yeah, thank you. But yeah.
No, I had my wife listening to that earlier today, and like the whole time that was going on, she was like talking about Peter's character, and she's like, "Is he a serial killer? Are those rackets his trophies?" And then the moment that happens, she's like, "Did he just set Dan up to get hit by a truck?
Yeah.
Is that his whole thing? He just tricks them to run across the road and get hit by a truck?" And I was like, you know,
it's like Peter's older brother is the guy driving the truck. He's just waiting down the road.
It's just like he's made a deal with the devil. It's like a little demon pact there of, oh, I'll lead them across the road, you hit them, and I get their skills. Cool.
Yeah.
Is the devil's sin?
Yes. I was gonna say, much like in Mimic, where there's this annoying Jeff in my ear. Same.
Yeah. Okay,
I still love when Sin is ordering pizza in the book. Like,
oh my god, that part is fucking hilarious.
So good.
So Joel, since you fought me for the longest time on Aced, give us your rundown on the book, because I consider this one of my greatest achievements is getting you to read this book because of how much you fought back with me.
Okay, so I don't know why I fought back on this. I don't know if it was just like, oh, it's a tennis lit RPG, because that's kind of how he like told me about it, and I was like, well, it's by Red, and she hasn't steered me wrong. Like, all of her series are amazing, so I'll give it a shot. And I don't know why I questioned it, because like starting like, I don't know, I think it's the first chapter. The character's like, I hate tennis, and I was like, what? Really? Me too. Let's talk about it. And
it's literally the opening
from then
paragraph.
On, I was
Joel.
like, yeah. I was like, okay, I'm getting into it.
But why does he go to tennis? Pretty girl.
For the girl.
He wants to get the attention of the pretty girl.
Well, yeah, you gotta go to the sports that both sexes are interested in, man.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And I was to say, what other sport in high school lets you play with the opposite gender?
Yeah.
I did theater because I have 2 left feet, and
I was gonna say that's not a sport.
yeah. Hey, we danced in theater, so
Yeah.
we got our athletics. Oh no, you don't know our dance.
Still not a
instructor.
sport.
We were
Martha was
talking about
fucking
like
brutal.
Oh yeah.
talking about like powerful like performances, or like, oh, I know
Dig deep,
the jokes, but
ladies.
they're like it's still there. Freaking when I heard Ryan narrating Ace, like I'm doing the whole listen through, doing my little job as an author, being like, oh yeah, I'll check for any errors too, just listen to it. I'm like, I've got it on my second monitor, and I'm like playing Magic at the same time, multitasking. And this fucker has me crying to my own book as I'm like sitting there. I'm just like, like one of the scenes is happening, and I'm just like, tears are coming out. I'm like, what the shit? Like, what? Like, I just got so emotional. I'm like, okay, I see you, Ryan. I see you.
Mm-hmm.
I got a little choked up listening to
Or
it.
I'm like-
I wasn't
I did too.
ready for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I've written book, like I write books. I know, like I did all of this. This is all came from me. So why is it emotionally impacting me? But so I think that just kind of speaks to like the quality of the narration in it.
Thank you.
And then it's one of those things that I think that's what made Ace stand out a lot. Is it's been really hard to get people to pick it up, but when people do, like, it's got like a 4.8 rating on Amazon. Like, people love it when they pick it up, and I think it's because of the characters. Like, just that, you know, it's these kids in high school, and like the emotions they're feeling and like those relationships they're building. It just all feels very real and sincere in a way that like you don't get in fantasy lit RPGs, or, you know, oh, I'm here to kill the Demon King. Like, they don't get to process the same type of emotional range that, you know, these kids in high school are dealing with. Of, hey, my mentor, you know, I have self-esteem issues and I'm feeling really bad about this, and this guy I look up to is giving me a pep talk and tells me he believes in me. Like, it's just, it hits different.
So
yeah, I think one of the things that really got me was, one, at the beginning, the character did feel relatable. But another thing was that I really enjoyed about the series is just learning like all these new aspects to tennis that I didn't know was there. It was like from the way you hold your club, like at a certain angle, and like you swing a specific way is like totally different, and like there's all these different aspects to it.
I was incorporating my actual, like, because I have a coach, I have a tennis coach who actually gives me lessons. And so I was actually like, I would come home from those lessons and incorporate that into my writing.
Did you leave your phone recording during your lessons?
I should have.
Just plagiarize your teacher.
You know, it lets me write off tennis as a business expense.
Yeah.
Hey.
Because it's all
there you go. There you go.
And I will say, you artfully brought that world together. In like, it's not a.
Look who it is.
It's
Brian Norton.
fucking
Brian
J. Norton.
Brian loves my dickin'. Just saying.
But it also wasn't done in an overbearing way.
Excuse me? You know what? I don't want that explained. I just want to
stick it.
Yes. Yeah.
I was gonna say, Ryan was there when Brian got my dick in. It's fine.
Yeah. No, but I want to say, Rin, you did a phenomenal job of, like, as someone also that doesn't know about tennis, I loved getting to learn, but it wasn't didactic. It wasn't like, oh, holy shit, there's like 3 pages now of just tennis. It is brought in a way that, like, you know, it was
very natural, and it flowed with the story.
Yeah.
It wasn't forced.
No, the story like flowed very good. And I will say that, you know, they always say don't judge a book by its cover. This is one I definitely say do not judge the book by its cover, because the cover does not do it justice.
Really
the cover is good.
Really good.
But the cover that you guys used for episode 1 on the cinematic audio, like just in the little sphere, that needs to be the cover, because that cover it goes way too damn hard.
Do we have an easy way to show that?
Can you share your screen?
Pull it up and then present,
Yeah, that's. I gotta get to the Sound Booth Theater page.
Here, let me see.
But I will say,
it's a race.
Big thing on the Ace cinematic right now. We put it out as a test run. We are really excited for it. But
got it.
Based on the amount of downloads we get, then that is going to dictate whether or not we complete the whole season. So please go out, check it out. It is so free.
Right? Oh, you scrub, right-click that image and open it in a new page. Like, really give them the full visual of it.
Or you can zoom in, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I love the part of that cover too is that there's this you know, you've got like the one art style in the front, and then you've got the watercolor in the back, and then
there we go.
That's a good cover.
It's a damn good cover.
That's good.
And that cast is so stacked.
Literally, it's stacked right there.
It threw me off because I was sitting here listening because there was no like opening credits saying, "Hey, here's who's playing who." So here I am sitting, trying to figure out who's playing who, and of course, when I get to when I hear Peter's voice, I went, "Hold the fuck up!" I know that voice. Didn't see it on the cover. Didn't see like any of the credits or anything like that, and I was like, "That's Zach Johnson." Okay, so there's Zach. Oh, there's JTJ. Oh, there's Jeff. It's hard not to place Jeff's voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing my classic quantum.
Yeah, and that's the other thing with I guess the thing to point out with the cinematic is that it is all like it's the Ace story, but it is completely rewritten for this cinematic treatment. So if it gets enough downloads, if it gets the traction that it needs to build that whole season, like this is me dragging Ryan from his very busy schedule to keep me company as I write the episodes from scratch to bring it all to life in a way that really tries to like capture the cast utilization we have.
We just hopped onto Discord one day and
Started
wrote it out.
Rin, have you tried the Excel method yet?
The Excel method? What's the Excel method?
The way that we use the Excel scripts.
Oh, I've seen how you guys do it afterwards, but no, I don't. But I mean, I'm just a massive pantser, and I just click really quickly.
I mean, like, how much are you rewriting it? Like, are you
from scratch,
completely changing everything that happens?
So I pulled up it's all the same events still. Like there's some new events added in, but it's all the same events, same story, same numbers and everything. So what I did is I actually pull up the original document, and I'll skim read it really quick so that it refreshes everything in my mind. Because then my mind pulls it up like it's a near eidetic memory. So if I refresh it, I can pull everything up, and then I just have the blank Word document there and just like rewrite it with the intention of what it's going to be. So the intention is this needs to be a cinematic audio. So I'm like, I need more dialogue. I need more interaction. It's not, just a bunch of like inner dialogue and inner like description, because I know you guys are going to be able to add like the outside descriptions of like sounds and, effects. I don't need to focus on those. So it's more character driven and interaction based and action. And like, so with that intention in mind, the rewrite just kind of happens.
I see. Yeah. Well, I'm really hoping that we're able to go on with the season.
Me too.
If you guys, like we just said, episode 1 is free on soundbeattheater.com.
And it's worth.
And it's
So
worth.
good.
It's worth the
hour.
nothing.
It's worth the free.
Yeah, so
It's worth every second that you're going to put into
Only
that.
games.
It's about an hour long.
Yeah.
It pretty much came out how I hoped it would. Because, we really leaned into that 80s aesthetic. I don't know how many classic 80s sports teen, dramedies there are out there, to have formed our minds, at least the people of my generation.
Oh, I was just thinking like the 80s dance aerobics.
Oh,
Like,
some of that too, a little bit of that. We should listen to that the song that Annie sings on. That one, oh my god,
yes.
that one is so good. But yeah, it's got that aesthetic, but it's also got the anime aesthetic. So it's kind of like two separate aesthetics mashed together. And I think that what we have on the cover there kind of represents that really well. There's something sort of like punk rock comic book about it, but also there's that anime look as well.
And like the rest of the season, like there's just so much more.
yeah.
So like we've done so many more like great scenes. There's the whole like mini soccer arc that would be really great to like.
oh, that's going to be
bring
fun.
to life.
It's going to be some blue lock.
We
right
all
there.
need like Coach Samantha in our life.
Well,
I cannot
parts
wait.
of her.
I can't wait.
There's some parts we could maybe do without. Like, but
And also you can pick up Ace on the Sound Booth Theater app for
Yes.
$7.99.
Yeah,
which
exactly.
is a damn good deal.
I mean,
That's a kill.
that's another way to support it. I mean, and here's the deal: like, if you listen to the first episode, you can't wait to listen to what happens next. You can get the audiobook; it's just $8. But the more people that do that, the more we're going to see. Oh, people really want this. So go ahead and vote with your wallets, right? And let us know what you think.
And if you're a Joel, it's okay. It's okay to be a Joel. And to have your doubts, because that's what I think it's facing. Is like, no, because you're about to be called in. No, it's okay, because there's so many people. You look at the cover, you hear it's tennis, you're not so sure, and I think that's kind of what happened on our original launch on Audible about 3 months ago. And I think though, if the more that people can, oh dear, why always
Joel.
with the feet?
If it hadn't been for the fact that it was a Rin book, I would have scrolled right by it, and
Right.
I've been like, tennis. Okay.
But it is, it's got so much heart.
It's damn good.
Immediately was hooked in, and just, I plowed through the entire book. It was so good.
I mean, honestly, like if we get enough attention that like that whole season is going, and I'm like having to rewrite every damn seasonal episode with Ryan at my side, book 2 will probably happen as well, because it's already like got 50,000 words done in it, so it's not like it's.
Okay, I need everyone to jump on this wagon, please. I need book 2.
So
It's so free.
And it is just a duology, so like that will complete it. Just
Okay,
saying.
so I need book 2, guys. Come on, like. If you have any ounce of respect for me, please, for the love of God, just
Don't go there.
please.
You just showed a picture of a foot on screen, and then like, if you have any ounce of respect for me,
I asked Jeff to sign my copy of Dungeon Crawler Carl, the new aced hardback that released right before DragonCon, and since Joel wasn't there, he opened it immediately to part 2, where there's a picture of a foot, and drew an arrow pointing under the foot and wrote Joel.
Yep.
So Richie's not respectful, but I will. Okay, if we get book 2, I might post me dancing to
No, hold on. Joel,
Cotton Eye Joe in a cowboy outfit.
Joel, I got a better
Now.
idea.
Like,
I got a better idea. If we get book 2, Joel and I will do a live stream of us in our cowboy outfits playing tennis.
There we go.
There it is.
Oh,
You found it.
So,
To Cotton Eye Joe still though. Just so
Cotton Eye Joe will be playing in the background as long as we don't get copyrighted.
Yeah, fantastic. I think it's such a fun, like just thinking about that these two are releasing
hey,
on the same day.
I look dapper as shit right now, so
That like, just vocally and performance-wise, just very different for both Jeff and me. Like in terms of like in Aced, I'm like, guys, I'm like a 14-year-old, you know.
Yeah.
In Ace, I'm like, or Flamespitter, I'm like, fucking hate everyone. You know?
No, you have like slice of life, like I'm dealing with my emotions, and then you have murder. So
I'm not dealing with my emotions. I'm just getting my rage.
It's a big range.
I was gonna say, I think that's the most interesting thing about like all the releases that are happening right now, because we have Aced, we have Dead, we have
Please focus. Yeah, I was
Resonance,
gonna say please
and we
feature
have
that comment.
and we have Flamespitter. And they're all so very different.
Oh, Brian, I love
you're
you.
just jelly you didn't get Joel time on your episode.
We have Slice
Oh,
of Life
shit.
Tennis, we have Monster Taming, and then we have Wild West Revenge. Like,
But all equally phenomenal.
yeah.
Like I
anyone-
don't think I could pick a favorite one. They're all so good.
I'm
We
just sad I
had some
couldn't
killer stories.
push for, like, I had to put all my efforts into getting Sound Booth to just get Flamespitter. But otherwise, like, I'm kind of bummed I couldn't get them to get Resonance as well. But I wasn't gonna push my luck. Like
Resonance
we
was still
discussed
really
earlier,
good.
it was a battle.
It was really good.
But so I'm just like, the amount of like just stories that were coming out, I was just like, there's so much range going on here. Like,
Mhm.
people are gonna get whiplash picking up them and be like, this is the same author? Is this the same? They're at the same shit?
All 3 books that we've had this year, they do have like all 3 different tones.
Oh, they're so
Very.
different.
Oh,
But
and then
they're
next up
so
is going to
good.
be, oh, wait, I think I can do this. Give me a second to figure out tech. I was gonna show the cover for Decor 5 while we're here.
I love the cover so much.
Exclusive.
I've
But-
seen it already and I love
Because I
it.
was gonna say that's the other thing when it comes to like, so I think I'm gonna send it to Ryan and then share screen it. That seems.
Oh,
like
you
a
can.
quick
I can share screen on my end. I have it.
Do you have it?
Yeah, you send it to me.
The completed version?
The wrap. I know that.
Oh, then that should be fine. And if
Okay.
it's not, I'll yell at you. But
No, it is. It's the completed version.
But I'm gonna say, so yeah, we went from Slice of Life Tennis to Monster Taming in Urban Fantasy to Alternate History Wild West Cultivation Badass, back to whatever the
good.
fuck this is.
Nice.
Oh yes,
I like
that is sick.
so.
Crazy insanity.
Back to my shenanigans that is Dungeon Core Online that started with, hey, our first monster is called a Dickin. It's a demonic chicken, to all of a sudden, hey, the government is trying to murder everybody. We should stop that.
Right.
Hell yeah.
And
This is what happens when
gives me
pantsing goes
whiplashes.
wrong. This is
And then you have
Or
the
it gets
side
complicated.
story. You have the
It's
side
very
story dicking around where it's about a family who open a dickin' fried chicken barbecue place.
Fried Dickin restaurant.
fried Dickin. Their Dickin is chicken kicking.
Oh, that's awesome.
And also an emotional story that packs a punch. So, you know.
Oh my! So funny one with that. Book 4, I think it was, when we get a lot more of like Z's background. My publisher actually messaged me and was like, "Are you okay?"
Oh no.
Like
Like,
there were,
your
going
response
through
there
was-
were no shit like calls like, "This is deep. Are you okay?"
Aw.
So that was an experience. You know what's
All right,
great when you
well-
can make your publisher concerned about your mental health.
I mean,
Absolutely.
you're not wrong.
At least they
I-
care.
Yeah. I mean, if Joel doesn't ask me if I'm okay at least once a day because I share a concerning meme, we know something's off. So,
We're
I do
all
that.
mad here.
I'm sorry, I meant Jess.
There you go.
She actually cares.
You do
Meanwhile,
it.
Jeff's like, "Why am I?"
I
here?"
care.
No.
It's just in a very special way.
Oh yeah, I got a promotion on my nickname. My nickname from Joel since high school has been Princess Pussberry. I am now Queen Pussberry. So
Very nice.
I got an upgrade.
Pussberry.
Charming
Mhm.
title.
Yeah.
Charming title. He was Twat Waffle, so
Oh, to
Who
pull.
was?
Yeah.
Who was
Joel was Twat Waffle.
Joel was Twat Waffle.
And
Yeah.
As I say, we-
Pussberry.
to pull this back around to like at least Jeff. Fun fact: I've already talked with Jeff about this, if he remembers. Like I said, we're going to be visiting a bunch of different places in Flamespitter, and Jeff has already volunteered to be any of the Asian individuals that we
Yep.
bring forth into the story.
I'm done.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
So looking forward to that, because
Yeah.
I think that's honestly
We're gonna
like
have fun
I don't think that's a role I've heard Jeff do.
Yeah, you know, there's not a it's not a high demand role. Not a whole lot of Chinese railroad slaves
Like,
in
Lit RPG.
fantasy and
Or
lit
in
RPG.
Finnish.
I was gonna say I've heard
Yeah.
Jeff do like an Asian voice before, but I think it was Japanese for Proxima
Mm-hmm.
from
I think
Harmon,
that's-
which
I think that's what's exciting. Wow. But I think that's what's exciting about Flamespitter in general is just like, I feel like it does give you guys the opportunity to like exercise different voices and like accents and such that you guys don't normally get to play with in Lit
Yeah.
RPG.
Yeah, I mean, I love westerns as well. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
it's just one of my favorite genres because it's reliable. You know, it's got a comfortable aesthetic to it.
Predictability
Mhm.
almost. Not like, you
You
know,
know.
but like my grandpa, every single, God rest his soul, every Thanksgiving, Christmas, anytime we were at their house, there was always a Western playing. I don't care if it was Jesus' birthday. We had John Wayne on the TV.
Spaghetti
Every time.
Western.
Yeah.
As I said, the spaghetti westerns are good. I love like the comedies too, like Blazing Saddles. Pretty much all Mel Brooks films in general.
Oh yeah.
But Blazing Saddles is like a key part of my childhood. And then like Support Your Local Sheriff and Support Your Local Gunman, like
Mhm.
just great classics. But yeah, anything with like Clint Eastwood, John Wayne, like
Yes.
just
Yep.
they all built it. And then I mean, I've lived in a lot of these locations. I lived in Missouri. I lived in Colorado, so I've gotten to be to like Cripple Creek and everything. And Colorado's actually where like Doc Holliday ended up. Because he went out there because he had tuberculosis, and so back then one of the cures for TB was going to drier locations. So he headed out to Colorado. So it's just a lot of like I said, history buff. I get to like tie all of this in and bring it to life and try to like shine light on things in an entertaining way at the same time.
I was gonna say I want to draw attention to the wrestling match that's happening behind
Behind Richie.
Oh, and
It's so
I was gonna
cute.
say ignore the WWE match going on.
Don't
behind me.
ignore. No, that's very.
They're not licking
it's
themselves
important.
this time.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
like Hermes was last episode. Oh god.
So just this is like the origin story lore, and I feel like I mean Brian can capitalize on it as well. So Brian has been around since my Books and Bourbon time, which was like 2020. I had a writing stream where I would drink bourbon and write flash fiction based off of viewer recommendations.
Oh, cool.
And so he just called out what I'm drinking. So I am drinking Angel's Envy.
Solid.
A very
Nice.
solid bourbon choice.
Mhm.
But yeah, Brian, and I didn't even realize it until he mentioned it, but Brian actually was one of my viewers from Books and Bourbon way back in the day.
Holy shit.
So it just like meeting him in person at DragonCon was just so great. And it's been so wonderful watching like the success he's had.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'm wearing Brian tonight.
the raise was incredible.
Oh no. That was just
Oh no, it was
awkward.
even better because they showed up to the Fantasy Gather at DragonCon.
Same shirt. Yep, we both have the same shirt on.
Yeah, it wasn't planned.
Different
Different
colors,
colors.
same shirt.
Yeah, if you can ever find yourself in a room with Brian, do it.
Oh, yeah, he's a great
an
person.
absolute blast.
Well, hey guys, I need to get the hell out of here.
Yeah, sorry for wasting your time, Jeff.
Work.
Jeff, thank you so much for tuning it in or
Oh,
for
man.
tuning in. Just
I had
because
fun.
it was such a good time having you here, and I'm so happy you were joining
Thanks
us.
for
And
having me.
also,
Yeah.
amazing job on the books.
Oh, thank you.
killed it.
Thank you. Yeah, well,
yeah.
I think Ryan deserves all the credit, really. Like I
He's
said.
going to
I
get
mean,
credit here in a
especially-
minute, but
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
leading,
yeah.
so we got to give you the credit.
All right,
now.
Oh, yeah.
cool.
I was
Well,
gonna
I'll
say,
take
Jeff,
some on my way out.
I was
Take
gonna say
some for the road.
your Pick'em voice totally reminded me of like Merle from The Walking
Yeah.
Dead.
Mm.
So
It's
good.
so
See
good.
that?
I love him. That lots of energy with that one as well, but like super evil positive energy.
No, yeah, it was
Yeah.
so good. Like the moment I heard that, I was just like, "Oh, this is perfect."
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to your other roles. In,
yeah.
moving forward.
Let's try for some variety here. We'll see what
I
else
got
we
you,
can
don't
pull
worry.
out of the villain toy box.
Do you want to be a Wendigo?
Sure. Fuck yeah.
Oh,
Are you
fuck.
kidding me?
Nice.
Yeah.
that kind of show.
Oh, and then like a shadowy assassin who absorbs mana from other people,
There we go.
like
There we
an opium addict at it.
I can't wait
go.
for
That's
these.
a lot of variety. We're
He's
good.
like, yeah, I'll do all of it. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'll be all the bad guys.
I got you,
Let's
Jeff.
do it. All right.
Jeff plays a really good villain.
But
So-
thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. and
Bye,
hanging
Jeff.
out.
Night, fellas.
Cheers.
Nah,
Peace.
that was awesome.
Oh.
I'm so happy he was able to
That's-
join us.
I'd say
Yeah.
it's always a good time when you can get Jeff to show up. He's so busy. It's so hard to get like.
I
get some of this
honestly
time.
didn't think he was going to be able to make it, which I did. Funny enough, I invited him to be my +1 to Joel's wedding because
That's so funny.
well, my partner had to work, and it was the same weekend as Gen Con, so he was in Indy, and I was like, Jeff,
That's
just out of curiosity, do you want to go to Joel's wedding? And he goes, I don't have wedding attire, but I will let you know. And Gen Con ended up being super busy. And he was like, I'm sorry, I can't make it. I was like,
Dude,
it's
it
fine.
was.
That's
It was.
funny.
Like
Yeah,
Gen Con was sold out this year, and I was like, Joel, you're making me drive through downtown Indianapolis the weekend of Gen Con when it's fucking
Yeah.
sold out. You dick.
Yeah, it was yeah. Gen Con's
But you did it.
I did do it.
just second place for me, right under Dragon Con in terms of fun.
So I'm excited because the stats crew will be at Jordan Con and Lit RPG Con this year. I
Yep.
don't know if I'm going to be able to make it to Dragon Con again, but I'm getting ready to start a new job. Hey, I'm using my
Hey,
vacation.
Let's go.
Like,
Wisely.
yeah. Like
Yes,
I've done
yes, we'll
I've
be
done Dragon
there.
Con 2
So
years
we'll
ago.
have a present.
So is Joel going to be at Lit RPG Con? Sorry, I was reading the comments at the same time.
Yeah, I should be.
Awesome, sweet. So yeah, I will be at Lit RPG Con for sure. Jordan Con depends on if I will be a guest or not. If I'm a guest, then I'll show up. If not, I don't like driving through Atlanta. It's kind of shit.
It is.
That's fair.
It
Feel
is.
that.
I live here, and yeah, it sucks.
And and Brian, don't worry. Those are characters. Like when I said that Flamespitter has like taken over my mind, I'm not kidding. So these are already characters that I've already brainstormed. Like the second book is definitely going to pull a lot from indigenous culture, and we're going to see like Wendigo type creatures show up. And then one of the big like the counterpoint to Mr. Jones is going to be a character who doesn't have any mana and actually absorbs mana from everybody around him. And so he gets like an opium addiction because he's kind of like always in pain, and people view him as a pox because they feel weak around him. That's because he's draining mana from them. So these are actually characters that I've already been brainstorming. Like
I'm so excited.
I'm usually a pantser, but like this story has built itself so much in my mind that like it has just laid the groundwork for everything.
Flamespitter is good. And here's the thing. When we get done with the stream tonight, I'm probably going to reboot and listen to Flamespitter again while playing Silent Hill 2. Just because I need a comfort listen while going through Spooky Game. So
Yeah.
That's fair. At least it's not Silent Hill 4 where it profiles you.
When we're done, I'll be shooting a TikTok for it. So.
Oh, cool.
Oh, God. Ren, this book is too fucking good, and Ryan, you did too good of a damn job. What the fuck?
I need the other 4 like yesterday.
Yeah, I need
Oh
them
my God,
injected
so,
into my veins
yeah,
now,
like,
please. This is my crack. So
Too
anytime
bad editing is like my bane, and it takes me forever. Because
okay, well, here,
5 needs to
edit and then play Magic. Edit then play Magic.
Little bites.
Which okay, so fun little story is Ren helped me build a deck on Magic Arena because I was learning how to play and everything. I was trying to get better at it. And she goes, "Oh, well, here, let me show you this one really quickly." And this is when the Dungeons and Dragons set had just come out, the original one. Oh my God, how complex her deck was! I was like, "What the fuck?" Oh yeah, Ren, I need you to write a deck builder, please.
Right.
Because
Yeah, well, I was gonna say to caveat that.
Put it on the.
Yeah.
I'm a mythic tier like player on Magic.
Oh yeah.
Like I play at the top tier. Like when I go to like, I was actually joking that I go to the pre-releases at my local gaming shop, and like I only go to pre-releases there because like I don't play paper Magic anymore, but I show up for pre-releases. And of the last 3 pre-releases I've gone to, so I've played like 9 matches there. I've only lost once.
Go off.
So the first time I was undefeated, and then the
Yeah.
third time I took 5th out of 32, and the top 4 were undefeated, so I had 1 loss. So I was like, if I keep showing up, they're just gonna like ban me for this.
This is when we need the gif of Captain Holt going Yas Queen with the snap. So,
actually, that is what's like spurring me on, like with my Decor 5 edits, because the end of the month I'm actually going to be in Vegas for Magic Con.
That's the end of this month.
That's the end of this month.
Fears. Wait, are you
so
turning around and going to Author Nation as well?
I'm not going to Author Nation.
Oh, poo on you.
You act like I have money. Like I need these books to sell before I can do things like this.
Well, chat, get to buying.
Buy the damn book.
So anyways, so yeah, I'm gonna be at MagicCon at the end of the month. So Decor 5 has to finish edits before then. So I have a hard stop, which is great because it fuels my procrastination mind and spurs me forward. Although I did just lose a week of time because of the stupid hurricane, but shit happens.
Yeah.
this is the content you will get from just what she has published this year. So, go.
Yeah.
And Flamespitter is like hands down the best thing I've ever written. Like,
I'm gonna go ahead.
I really can't pick a favorite.
I don't know. Like, what
good.
surprises me is like the style change.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
just the voice in Flamespitter is so different from anything else that I have. Like, and I
It's
don't know what
good.
it is, but I love it. It makes me so
the
happy.
thing is, with how much of a tone change there is between the 3 books you've published this year, they're all 3 amazing, and they all shine in their respected genres.
Yeah.
Because even though they're all still lit RPG, you have, Aced, which is more slice of life and sportsy, which we don't have a lot of sports lit RPG. I can only think of 2 off the top of my head. And then you have DED, which is more IRL apocalypse based. Give a little Shimigami Tensei, which I remember reading it back on Royal Road, and and then we get Flamespitter, which is kind of like a little historical period piece because post Civil War, but also rootin' tootin' cowboys shooting.
That's
So
right.
That was the other thing I think that I felt like. I think what I love about Flamespitter, I mean, there's so much to love about it, but I think one of the things that I loved about it is just like the subtle ways that I was incorporating the cultivation into it to like. It wasn't changing, the development of the world. So it wasn't like, oh my God, like it wasn't steampunk of like, hey, this is a brand new technology that's completely changing thing. But it's like subtle ways that it was affecting essentially that industrial revolution build, but it was all based off how people were utilizing mana.
Yeah.
In the way. So it was still like very historical, like the technology and everything was still there accurate, but it was because of mana and not like, hey, we've figured out how to do like a combustion engine, or hey, we've got gunpowder here. It was like, hey, mana lets you do this.
So there was no need to create a combustion engine. There was no need to,
Yeah. So it was like the innovation was still happening, but it was because mana was being figured out how to be able to apply to it in that way versus the technology. And then I think that's what's one of the most exciting things moving forward with it is how Mr. Jones gets to learn the different ways that mana can be used as shown across the different cultures. Much like, how technology and how like civilizations develop and adapt to things in different ways. So
yeah,
it's good.
Yeah, I think personally my favorite thing is that you set up Mr. Jones, the main character, in a way where there are questionable I don't know that I like him at the beginning. and I'm like and when my first time I read through, I was like, no, this is good because it's going to, there only can be growth from here. Because I mean, like chapter I want to say 5-ish 4-ish, he does something really questionable, like really questionable that I'm going like,
does it go with that quote that
it's on the train. Yeah,
it's on the train.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew exactly what
the
you
double.
got to be strong. Yeah. And it's like, and because a lot of times, like the author will give an out to why they had to make that decision, and this was really just like he just made the decision. It wasn't like a self-defense thing. It was just like, no, this because he has his set of laws and things that he operates through because he has been brutalized so many times. So it's like,
right,
and you're just like, ooh, and so for him to be able to build and grow and come to it's incredible.
The first time I read that part, my jaw was on the floor. I went, holy fuck.
I know. I was like, oof, daddy.
And Mr. Jones gives off like he's not a hero, he's not a villain, he's more of an anti-hero, like the mercenary, kind of like Punisher type vibes is what it's just the gunslinging Wild West Punisher. That's what honestly probably Ghost Rider in that era of things.
Yeah, he makes one decision differently and he just becomes the bad guy.
Yeah.
He just skirts that line.
I was saying he's skirting that line, and that's some of the like character development that he gets, like because you have like that scene with the sheriff where like the sheriff has seen things too, and he's just like, this is just a kid who's been dealt a bad hand. And he's so close to that dark shadow.
You end up with complicated feelings about a lot of the characters, which I love.
He does have that golden rule though, that no innocent people can be harmed, and once he breaks that, then it's over. Like that's he can't forgive himself if that happens.
But he definitely toes that too.
It does. I was gonna say, because that decision is
he toes it because it's like no innocent people, but it's like but what crime marks you as innocent and what marks you as guilty? And so he's very, there's so much like leaning on either side that it's just he's such a fun character to write.
And it's great too because he is very ego driven because of
Oh, yeah.
have to be self like
Mhm.
reliant, but not in this like braggadocious way. I mean, he's confident, but he
Yeah.
doesn't come across like smarmy and like like, oh yes, well I can do it all or anything. It's just like he's like, no, I got something to prove and I'm gonna fucking do it.
Yeah. And I think part of that was trying to show like that character development of like it mentions early on, he lost his mentor at the age of 14.
Mhm.
So for the last 4 years, like all he's had to rely on was his 6-shooter and his power.
Mhm.
And like those split-second decisions. And so he's
And
built
at that
himself
age.
he's built himself
Yeah.
on that. So he's seen his parents got murdered when he was young. His mentor gets murdered when he's young. And all he's left is, he's got these lessons from Randall. He's got his 6-shooters and he's got his power. And so he's trying to cling to those convictions in a world that's really not,
I was gonna say,
kind.
And the time period is also just brutal as a whole because the whole Western expansion and everything like that is a brutal ass time.
Yeah.
And the fact that he survived on his own since he was 14 is amazing.
Yeah.
Not to survive though, but managed to fly under the radar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And stay hidden
As
like
a
he's trying
4-core,
to.
come
Yeah.
the fuck on.
And so then like when he starts to interact with, people again, and I think that's what like was kind of like the growth for him is he's finally like interacting with people that he views not just as like peers, but like as superiors. Like when he meets Clint, he's just like, this is a legend. Like,
Yeah.
this guy can kill me. Like, there's no question. And that kind of like humbles him. And then like, as he makes mistakes along the way, and as he meets more people that like are stronger than him, he's just like, oh. And so he's like kind of having to reassess everything that he had built about himself in the last 4 years. And it's like, it's a lot of like
humbling and
humbling. And then it like how we leave off book 1, personally, like that kind of like reveal at the end with regards to like who his mentor is going to be in book 2, leaning forward for like the cultivation path. I chuckled so much when I wrote that. I was just like, this is great. Like, hey, Mr. Jones, guess who you get to learn from going into book 2?
Yeah.
So, as I think Jess and I have already said, we need the next 4 books, Ren. Come the fuck on. Like now. TikTok.
Gosh. And I'm so excited for like the like full intrigue that's gonna happen and like more of the Golden Circle stuff that's gonna get added in, which actually is again historical. There was actually an order after the Civil War that was like the Golden Circle order that was trying to overthrow the nation again. So their whole plan was actually to like steal a bunch of riches, hoard a bunch of wealth, and establish a new confederacy in the West to rival the new America once again, to like become the new dawn of the Union. So like, again, just being able to play with like the history of this and being like, hey, these are actually historical things that were happening.
And you
and
pull it out
twist them
so again, like I said, just so naturally. It all comes out in a way that, like, it just starts so confined and small, and like him kind of in his head, and like just being like, and then for it all to just blossom so naturally over the course of those, 12 hours.
So Ren, I got a question because we're talking about going west. You said we're gonna go north. Are we possibly going to go a little south and get into the Texas?
We are going to go to Texas. Texas is so. This I mean spoilers for anybody. Not major spoilers.
I
but,
just have a question about a character. That's it.
I was going to say my location plans. We've obviously at the end of book 1. For those who have read it, cool, but for those who haven't, we've already alluded to it. We're going to be heading up to the Dakotas. Because there's a lot of really interesting historical aspects that were happening around that time. And a lot of things that like a lot of people don't know, aka General Custer was a dick.
Yeah.
And his own personal
I thought
ambitions.
he was a colonel.
Well, yeah, Colonel
That's
Custer.
Colonel Mustard. With the candlestick.
But anyways, I've been drinking. I might have misspoke. But anyways, so he's actually one of the main reasons why the like American Indian War actually kicked off. because he was actually sent undercover to the Dakotas in order to check if there was and confirm if there was gold in the Black Hills. But the problem was the Black Hills had been promised to the Sioux tribes and the indigenous people by the president as we won't come into this area. Custer found out that there was gold there, reported back to the president, and the president was like, okay, keep that under wraps. Like we can't release this. But because it was post-Civil War era, the nation was struggling financially. There's also a bunch of like corruption going on. The rail companies were like embezzling a shit ton of money, you know, good old capitalistic shenanigans. Well, Custer wanted to make a play for president, and he needed, you know, accolades to run on. So he leaks the fact that there's gold in the Black Hills to the newspaper and spins the story as the president is valuing the indigenous people over the American people.
Ooh.
And because of this, the president gets put in a hard spot because he's like, the people are like, there's the unrest, the people are mad at me. Like, I can't value the American people less than the indigenous people. Like, my whole point is to look out for the American people. So, like, he has to renege on his agreement with the indigenous tribes regarding their sacred land of the Black Hills in order to open them up for the gold rush, which pushes the tribes to their breaking point. And that's where you get a lot of the, like, you know, really strong indigenous tribe spokespersons and people and like war bands forming to just be like, we can't take this anymore. Like, you pushed us. We played your game. We tried to be peaceful, and you kept coming and coming and coming, and no more. And so that's what kicks off the like American Indian War. It's one of the major turning points of it. And so it's kind of fitting that Custer ends up dying.
And it's so funny. You start the book with the news crier in like the very first like 5 minutes.
Exactly.
Gold found in the Black Hills.
Yep.
And that's what I was alluding to. That's like I was starting that for book 2. Like that was something I was alluding to. Was that is
you're good at this? Look at you.
Yeah.
No. You just did fabulously on your episode of Drunk History. By the way, you did a really good job.
Yes. Awesome. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm on like my 4th drink. So
I know. I was like, so you're doing great.
When I talk, I get nervous, and when I get nervous, I get thirsty, and you know.
So the only history I really paid attention to is the Whitest Kids You Know, Civil War on Drugs. You know, when that whole thing was going on, because that's one of the best like sketches. I don't care what anyone says, that's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But Ren, with us going down to Texas and like
Yes.
the southern areas, is it possible that we might see or have an Easter egg of a certain masked hero that has had multiple movies?
Are you talking about Zorro?
Yes.
I don't. No, I mean, I'm so like I'll dive into like the history of Texas when I get to that, like, and making sure like I'll. So for each preparation of the books, I look at I watch a lot of documentaries and then dive into like a lot of the historical recounts, like accountings and everything of it. So I've actually listened to like the dialogue of like the indigenous tribes during their talks and like actually heard all of their like scripts for like their war councils and everything, which is really cool. But yeah, so when we get to the Texas portion, I'll be looking at a lot of the situations there. I don't know historically what the timeline is for like the Alamo and like the Spanish American War and all that situation, but we'll look at kind of that situation. I can't remember with David Boone. I think that's 1910, but I'll look at like kind of what situations are going on around there. I know culture-wise, I was looking at pulling from like the Mexican culture, possibly pulling some of the Mayan culture into it, because you had a lot of the Mayan and Aztec remnants that shifted north into Mexico, and Incan, even all that with regards to their cultivation aspects, which have already been brainstorming and playing out. And then we'll go to Colorado, which I'm super excited for because Colorado is home. I know the area very well. Yeah, I was gonna say I spent 15 years of my life in Colorado. I want to get back to it as soon as possible.
Here's your goal. We have to have the book ready for the inaugural Lit RPG Con in Denver.
Okay, yeah. I don't think I can write that fast. Like, excuse me.
I believe in you.
All right, everyone, let's summon our energy. Let's get a little DBZ magic in here. Yeah. You know,
spirit bomb it up for Ren to just like hyper focus.
If you don't, we're gonna spirit bomb you. That's the.
And then anyone in the chat have an Adderall prescription they can just illegally mail to Ren.
So I was gonna say, so we'll
For
go
legal
to
reasons, that was
Colorado,
a joke.
which means we'll get to experience things with Pikes Peak, and you've got all the crossings in the winter type of situations, and that's also where you have like the Donner Party, and also the major fun fact: the Mormons got forced out of Missouri, which forced them west, and that's how they ended up in Utah.
Yep.
So
'cause
we'll have all
they're,
that type of
like,
situation.
like the promised land's like in Missouri.
Yeah.
For them, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and then they get forced out of it. And so they literally get forced out of like in hate crime out of Missouri, which is where they move west, and they get to Utah. And then actually, fun fact with that was while they were in Utah, when the United States passed the monogamy type laws, and you couldn't have polygamist relationships, you actually had a branch of the Mormon Church move south into Mexico to break apart from that because they wanted to be able to keep the polygamy. Fun finds. And then once we're in Colorado, then we're going to head west to California for the final book, which is going to be fun because you're going to have a lot of the gold rush situations going there, but also the Shanghai culture that was happening.
Chinese railroading, and
you had Chinese railroading, you had Shanghai where people were getting drugged in the West Coast in bars, and then essentially led to like the back of the bar where they would have actual like trap doors to drop these people down while they're drunk and drugged into like cages, cart them onto ships, and then when they came to, they were already on the ship for a 3-month voyage to China with no choice but to become crew members of said ship if they wanted to get back home.
Damn.
So yeah, that's where the Shanghai term comes from.
Yeah, like getting shanghaied.
Yeah, getting shanghaied was they literally people showing up at the bar, getting drugged and roofied essentially, and then kidnapped, coming to on a ship, and just being like, you're in the middle of the ocean. Welcome to the crew.
What else are you gonna do?
You're like, fuck, my wife's gonna kill me.
Yeah, so that is like I said, there's just so much fun history, and it's just such a fun time period, and that's one of the things that I'm really excited for with regards to Flamespitter, Elemental Gunslinger, and I really want it to do well, because if it does, and this ties in like Geneva's thing, if this does well, and if like this can make it for me, then I get to write more historical fiction. And then I get to look at all these different time periods. And like when I tell you that history, humanities, anthropology, like those are my thing. Like I love them with a passion. I watch like every documentary that I can. I read history nonstop. Like to be able to just keep writing historical fictions in different time periods and like analyzing cultures and trying to like bring their history to light in a way that's both educational but also entertaining at the same time. I'm so excited for that opportunity.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll read every single one.
Yeah. I mean, there's not a bad book out there that you've published. So just like keep up the amazing work. You're
trying.
You are killing it. And
and then we do, like I said, we do get an extra Elemental Dungeon series book soon.
Yes.
Which that's throwing me the fuck off.
I know. I can't wait.
Ooh. Also, since I love giving you scoop type shenanigans.
All right, another stats exclusive. Hit us with it, Ren.
I have commissioned artwork for the Dungeon Mobs card game.
Ooh.
Oh, cool.
Hell yeah.
All right.
So I have commissioned artwork for the first 2 decks with regards to Dungeon Mobs so that I can create physical playtest copies and start a Kickstarter for it.
Nice.
Oh God,
That's awesome.
So much. Okay, when we say that this is an ever expanding genre and everything, and there's expansions on expansions on expansions, this is what I'm fucking talking about. There's so much good fucking content right now.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to be
be
professional. I've been trying to be professional, but the hype level is just too damn high right now. Because today's been a very, for content wise, has been a very hyped day.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
been amazing releases.
Absolutely.
2 from Ren and Sound Booth that are just top tier. And I cannot give you both enough praise, because This is a combo I love. This is a combo I want to see more of.
Me
So hey, Portal
too.
Books, like hey, like come here.
Wait, can we get a can we high five round? Or, like, will it
Right.
make it?
Other way.
Wait,
Other
come
way.
the other way. Come the other way, Ryan.
I'm this way.
Yeah.
I'm not that way on my screen.
Oh,
Okay.
you're that way on my
I look.
screen.
So hold on real quick. I'm just gonna hey, Portal Books. Okay, cool. Do me a favor. Let them work together. That's all. Okay, cool. So
Well, I mean, you've got
Oh, yeah.
Sound Booth, who is my favorite. Rin, who is my favorite. Put the two together and you just keep it wrong.
I was gonna say
It's-
so.
It'd be great.
Oh, if we go back to like my longing for historical fiction shenanigans, the liquor.
shenanigans.
Honestly, I was gonna say if
Finnegan.
that's like your first big flub, you're doing great for it.
Yeah,
Right,
you're
I was
fucking
gonna
killing
say,
it.
After Flamespitter and like Elemental Gunslinger, like if it does well and everything, and I'm able to like tie into like a medieval type thing, you best bet
Ooh.
like I would hands down love to do one that focuses on like a blacksmith, like a bladesmith type thing. Because for those who don't know, I am actually a bladesmith.
Mhm.
Like I
Mhm.
actually
Okay, I need the
forge
short list of what you don't do.
things.
That
Like,
will
you
be
see this?
That's-
You see this?
that
I
is
make
so cool.
this. Like this
That's
is actually a
It's
knife.
a prop.
No, yeah, it's a prop. This is a prop, YouTube.
Yeah, it's a prop.
But this is
Please don't TOS us.
it's a prop. It's art. It's artwork.
Yeah, it is art.
It is metal artwork. But yeah, so I've trained under Master Bladesmiths and Master Blacksmiths. One of the people that I taught bladesmithing to actually won Fortune Fire. I have been sourced
Nice.
for bladesmithing information in books such as Ascendant by Michael Miller, which is a big young adult novel series, and a few others for my blacksmithing knowledge. So, you know, if Flamespitter does well and I get a dive into the medieval times, you best bet I'm bringing my blacksmithing knowledge to the forefront there with
Yes.
cultivation.
I have a question
And-
because I know Geneva's in the comments. Can we get like a little like blacksmithing like lesson at Lit RPG Con? Like we're gonna have Jez and Ren there.
Little demo.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
that could be,
actually,
like, your panel.
So I was gonna say, actually, the guy that I taught bladesmithing to originally, that won Fortune Fire, his shop is actually in Boulder, Colorado.
Ooh.
That's not far
Um,
from where Lit RPG
and
Con's gonna be. I will go pick them up.
Have
Or-
them come.
Before I moved to South Carolina, the blacksmithing school in Colorado Springs
She
was
said
actually
yes.
wanting me to
It's confirmed.
teach an introduction to bladesmithing at their school in Colorado Springs. I'm also a certified welder and have done metalsmithing classes.
Hell
Is there
yeah.
something you don't know?
That's what
Yeah,
I
Ryan's
say.
right.
Really?
If you
Hold on.
don't know, it'll
Ren.
probably walk shorter.
I mean, I was a ballistic missile expert too at one point in time.
That one I did know. That one I did know.
That I
Oh,
did know that. We've talked about the military experience.
Oh, and my
everything.
hands were with lethal weapons at a point in time too. Whee!
Mine still are technically.
For that, combat veteran shenanigans.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Well, I think because I know
Field
Joel's
trip.
gonna have to start getting ready for work soon. I think this is a
Unfortunate.
fun episode.
I know,
Absolutely.
it's been a blast.
I think this was a very, very fun launch party to celebrate the hype
Yes, thank you
behind
for offering to do this
Flamespitter.
for us. This is awesome.
It came into my mind. I messaged Ren. I was like, Ren, do you think you and Ryan would want to do this? Because Ryan, we've been wanting to get you on since last Dragon Con. So welcome to the Stats crew. We're so happy to have you on here now.
Yes, thank you.
And I think this was fun.
I was gonna say, I think Ryan and me, like, we look forward to any chance we can get together on screen
Yeah, yeah.
because
Right, so now
we
we
just
gotta
like
go-
hanging out.
We got to get some
Exactly, I was
gaming
gonna
streams
say.
going now.
Honestly, I think the person I message most on Discord is Rin of like my entire life.
And honestly, like, if he stops responding to me, I just send him a text message. But I'm not like sending a text to me and like, hey, here's what I need. I'm just like, hey Ryan, can you check?
Get on Discord, girl. I'm like, okay.
Hey, can you come hang out with me on Discord? I need to
Yeah.
talk. We've got
Yeah.
things to brainstorm. Ryan has been like filled in with all of my like story project ideas. We talk about all sorts of things.
I get some scoops every once in a while because Ren and I have built that friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just, I mean, like, anytime I get to hang out with Ren is always a good time. If it's just us, like, chilling, playing Tiny Tina's or Magic or
And I can't wait for
Whatever.
Monster Hunter.
Oh my god, we are gonna have way too much fun with Monster Hunter, and the streams are gonna be fantastic.
Oh, so you asked if there's something I can't do. I can't make cosplay content, cosplay costumes, which is bullshit. Because if I could, I would so cosplay the blacksmith for Monster Hunter Wilds and actually like shoot blacksmithing content in that cosplay.
The
Is it
blacksmith.
That would be
or
epic.
the armor making?
The weapons, Gemma
Oh,
from Monster
fair
Hunter
enough.
Wilds. Like if I could make that cosplay, I would so shoot footage of me like forging, like dual
That'd be good.
blades in person.
I'd make it for you.
Hell yeah.
All right, so we have our tasks. Joel, we have to get Rin the blacksmith armor for Monster Hunter Wild for Lit RPG Con because we gotta make sure she's rocking it. So
I get way too caught up in cosplay, so
he does.
Everyone has their assignments because I know she's this way now. Rin is writing up a storm.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have to write a shit ton of words.
Yes.
Yep.
Chat, you have to go get your free episode of Ace Cinematic.
Oh, and
Go
they
pick
have
up
to comment ebook or audiobook for a chance to win
Yes,
free copies.
yes.
Which we already have one entry. So
Fierce. And yeah, grab Ace the classic audiobook, $7.99, and of course, Flamespitter.
yes, because Flamespitter. Like I think Ryan got a little mad at me with my stupid pun earlier when I said it.
No, not at all.
I was like, how do I make this cheesy? Because I was going to say it spits fire, but I was like, no, I got to put flame in there.
Oh my god, no,
because-
people have started using like an emote of like flames and then the spitting emote for
That was
flame
me.
spitter. Yeah. Like you can't go any worse than that.
I know.
Not that kind of show.
Like I was like, are you spitting to put the flames out? And then I was like, oh, flame spitter. Got it.
Hmm.
That's right.
And like I said, I was up at 2:00 this morning.
Actually, that's a lie. At
And-
first I saw that and I was like, eggplant emoji plus spitting equals. And I'm like, what are you doing to my flames?
So also, Ryan, sorry for waking you up or bugging you right when you were about
Nah,
to go to
girl.
sleep.
I was up. My sleep schedule's just
Oh.
when you put an ADHDer in charge of their own schedule fully, like
Yeah.
voice acting is the only.
I'm about to
thing I
switch
do,
jobs,
so-
so I'm about to adjust my sleep schedule back and everything. And
yeah,
now Maddie and I are in the process of moving, so
yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
wild.
ah, God.
As I said, the only
So-
reason I have a normal schedule is because I'm married.
there you
Otherwise,
go.
yeah, I would
Right.
I would not have a schedule. It would just be fueled on energy drinks and random sleep. Like actually, the last time like my wife was gone for a long period of time was when Baldur's Gate 3 dropped,
Mhm.
and I was
bet it-
playing till like 4 a.m. and then
Oh, yeah.
back up at like 7
Yep.
to play more
I-
Baldur's Gate.
I went to bed one night and Ren's like, "Oh yeah, this is where I'm at." I woke up and she and I had a message from her. I went full mind flare. Oops.
That achievement called me out, but I was not ashamed.
Hell yeah.
Because I like my phone went zzz, zzz, and because I always have my phone on vibrate. I hate like ringtones. I
haven't
it
had a
bugs
ringtone
me.
on since 2006.
My
no,
phone lives
on
like
silent.
no shit.
Hey.
Like
Yeah.
So, Joel, you don't have a ringtone. You barely answer your fucking phone.
It's because it vibrates.
Exactly.
I think the last ringtone I had was the Narwhal song.
Oh,
hell
God.
yeah.
I use a ringtone. I keep my phone on.
Jess,
I
You
keep
put a
mine
phone
on,
in.
but
I'm
now that I
weird.
have my watch, I get my notifications here so I can feel it better. So, because
I
you know
won't hear it vibrate, so I
that's
keep
why
it
you
on.
gotta feel it. Get a watch. Get a Fitbit. Something.
No,
feel it. You just
Rich.
feel it.
I also
He's,
don't.
he's
sleep
getting
with my
ready
phone
for his
like I
next
do.
job.
Yeah, I'm getting ready for my next job as a sales consultant or sales associate. Sorry, just waiting on that damn background check. Woo. But
Hell yeah.
this was fun, and
Thank you.
I
so
don't think
much
we
for
need to
having
do
us.
hey, what you've been reading, because we already know what we've been reading, and
We've
that's
all been
fucking
reading
Flamespitter.
Flamespitter.
We have all been reading Flamespitter.
I
and Magic
haven't.
Mantle,
I've
but-
been reading the Frith Chronicles by Shami Stovall, which is amazing.
so
And
good.
obviously Heretical Fishing
Oh, fun.
which Haylock is one of our upcoming guests.
Yeah, so
I think we
cool.
have him booked for November.
Nice.
I got to go
I'm
back
on-
and look.
I'm just about to finish book 2 because I only get to listen to audiobooks while I work out. But yeah, it's phenomenal and great fun. And I'm kind of bummed I didn't get to talk with him at Dragon Con.
I got a brief moment with him, and I just kind of introduced myself. I said, "Hey, I run I'm part of a podcast. We love you. Guest, please."
I bet it went about like that, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can
probably
imagine.
But yeah, heretical fishing is
I
phenomenal.
guess it.
Super fun.
I think I was
It's-
hanging out with Jessica Threet when that happened, so she could probably back up that story. Which,
Yeah,
fun-
Haylock. I was
fun
saying,
thing.
Haylock is phenomenal. The audiobook narrator does a phenomenal job with
Heath
it.
Miller,
Heath Miller.
which he
does-
has a Western
Yes,
lit
he
RPG,
Oh,
and it's really good.
does he do Harmon Cooper's?
No, he
The-
does, that's McLeod
Cowboy
Andrews.
Necromancer? Oh, okay.
Let me go to Audible. I can't remember. It's an Aethon book. I think. It's
How
a-
was the Dead audiobook? I haven't listened to it yet.
It was really good.
Okay. Because I
I
only
really
listened
liked
to
it.
the sample for the narrator, but I didn't have the time to listen to the actual audiobook.
I am so mad. Audible only lets you play the first 5 minutes now. You don't get to select your own
The
samples
samples.
anymore.
I hate the samples.
I'm like,
now.
because I'm
One
like,
thing they
I used
did
to spend
add-
time. Like, I'm like, what's like the essence of this? And like,
Here we go.
that's your 5 minute sample. Now it's just like, okay.
Oh my god, I'm
So-
still so sad that I couldn't get Portal to do sound booth for like Dead. Because not only do we have a wide range of like demons with their own personalities,
Yeah.
but oh my god, like Jewel being voiced by Annie Ellicott would have been fucking phenomenal.
That would have
That
been
would have been
amazing.
so good.
Okay, we good.
I'm
And
gonna
do
share-
you know what?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, please.
I was gonna say, you know what? Like Dead would have what vibes it gave me if Soundbooth would have done it. A little book by Harmon Cooper called Monster Hunt NYC. That's what I would have thought of. But
I was just
both
thinking
different.
like Annie as Kira, but as
that would have
Jewel,
been phenomenal.
like Jewel with the Kira vibe would have been so good.
Also, here
We-
is the one Heath Miller does. Dead Man Walking.
Dead Man Walking. Okay.
Mm.
Cool.
It's I read it. I haven't listened to the audio. I want to. I tuned into his TikTok live when he was doing it, and I think he was on book 2 when I tuned in, and
Okay.
it was really
Not gonna lie,
it was
most
interesting.
of my credits go to Sound Booth Theater stuff.
Yeah, I
Mine
mean,
too.
It
same.
happens that way. One thing, I mean, as we're leaving, one other thing, like with Flamespitter, I think one of the inspirations that I pulled for it was Outlaw Star.
Oh.
If
Oh.
anybody ever remembers Outlaw Star, which is phenomenal as an anime, but like their whole gun system where they had like the different spell
Mhm.
canisters they loaded into
Mhm.
the pistol for it, like that is one of the original things that came to mind when I was building that system.
Yeah, that is.
And it grew from there, obviously, but that was one of the things that I was like playing with, was just like they've got these unique spells that are loaded into the revolver, and like that's what the weapon does, and that was how the mana crafting into the different types of bullets came to be.
Yeah, I do like the mana infused bullets. It's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
And you
So-
can do the different kinds for each element.
I was gonna say the different
I
kinds
like
for each
it.
element, and then when I gave Clint his ability to like, where they're like, "Oh, you can do this, but that's just the basic version."
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was
Show
just
you
like,
the upgrade.
yeah, I was say here's the upgrade. I was just like, because again,
Yeah.
I'm a pantser, so that just happened.
Mhm.
Like I was just like, yeah, we're just going around. Here's the basic type. Here's how they do mana things, and then Clint's like, oh, by the way, here's the special version. I was like, what special version, Clint? What are you talking about? What's this gonna do? And if you want an insight into like my writing, like I literally wrote that scene where he's like, and then I fired the weapon, and then just like cut off chapter. That was me like leaving for the day,
You're like, what's
and
gonna
then coming
happen
back and
now?
being like, what the fuck happened, Clint? What the
Yeah.
fuck did you do? What is
No, I was
going
gonna
on?
I was gonna say, so speaking of zombies, the thing that, so the next big cinematic that I'm directing for Sound Booth is, Awaken Online.
I can't fucking wait.
I was just the part that I'm not going to talk much about it. I just wanted to just say that the part that I'm so excited about is that I just got brand new toys from Sound Booth called Krotos and Krotos Studio, which it kind of is like a blend of classic like digital sound effects, but it's also acts as a Foley studio. So instead of finding different things that I need, I can clap, hum, do and so that and it'll come out a lion's roar or a footsteps or a gunshot or and so like the level of detail that
That's
I will be
crazy.
achieving in this, I guess, because there's a plugin that they have called Dehumanizer, which is incredible for like creating these zombie sounds. Because I was talking with Rich, who's also going to be doing the sound effects with me.
Not me.
Yeah, sorry. Richard Smith at Sound Booth. Like talking about like, oh, do we want to like
Travis Bagwell?
Yeah, Travis
Yes.
Bagwell.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so and so they were like, oh, should we like, how are we gonna grab all the zombie sounds? I was like, no, we got Krotos, baby. We're gonna make them. And so
I'm okay. So if you ever need like beta listeners or anything like that for like, hey, how does this sound? Like, how would you think?
I'll send it over.
Just there's three of us here that are audiophiles. So yeah, please. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Like, okay.
Yep.
Cool. I plead my case.
And actually, all the production on that is starting right now. We are
I'm so
gearing up
excited.
and getting the cast all settled. The original narrator is going to be playing a role in it, so I'm really excited.
Nice.
He did a very iconic. The character is like the Dark One or the Old Man.
Yeah.
It's like his guide, and so he's going to be reprising that
Awaken
role for us.
Online was one of my COVID listens. I
yeah.
had started it around like midway through 2020. I think it was right before I moved from Granby over to Pierce, Colorado, and that was one of my listens. And then I went from that back to my Sound Booth theater kick because that was my thing. I had discovered Wood RPG because of Joel, and then from there he introduced me to Sound Booth with Feedback Loop because Feedback Loop was one of the big titles, and then of course Dungeon Ward, and then I got on my Jeff Hayes kick. And then I got on my Sound Booth theater kick. And then I did not leave my Sound Booth theater kick until I finished completed series.
Yeah.
I'm
still going.
so torn because, like, I have, like I said, I'm finishing up Heretical Fishing 2, but I also want to listen to to Shami's new book. Yeah.
Time Mark Warlock, yeah.
This one?
So I'm like, yeah, I want to listen to that. But
I've
then
heard nothing but awesome things.
I also have
And
Mimic
then-
in May 3.
That's
And
That one's
Demon Card
fine,
Enforcer. Although, I mean, I might be interacting with the Snowballs in December, so it is what it is.
Fierce.
They are wonderful people.
Oh
and
my
they
god,
are gonna
yeah.
be
John and
guests on the
Shami
show.
are so good. And they literally are such nice people. Like, I love interacting with them.
John actually sent me cards.
Yeah, I
from
saw those.
Demon
That's
Card Enforcer.
so cool.
And I love these so much that I actually am going to get like the normal like sleeves for them, and then I will be putting them in the like plastic protectors. I want to get these graded to have like on a wall somewhere because they're that freaking cool.
Is anyone here a fan of Has Been Hotel?
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
Oh
Yes.
Is that
Ooh.
Alistair?
That's cool.
And wait.
Nice.
And wait. Do-do-do-do.
I love it. I love it so much.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the Has Been Hotel cards by A24.
That is
But yeah,
amazing.
John and Shami are amazing people. They write great things. Elf Empire by John is great fun. Obviously, Demon Card Enforcer is amazing. Frith Chronicles by Shami are great.
It's funny.
It still baffles me when John like credits me for like some of his inspiration stuff because I'm just like, no, John, you're so much.
Me.
I was gonna say, I was like, your stuff's so good. Like, I don't know what you're talking about, buddy.
Demon Card Enforcer was actually both of John and Shami's books were like nonstop listens for me. They were one sittings. I couldn't put them down.
And they're just
And I had
they're such nice people. Like
Yeah.
there are
Yes.
legitimately good people, and they're just nice and caring, and I love that when authors are like so down to earth and so kind and friendly and just like genuine.
Yeah.
It just makes me
And not,
love
like,
their
really
work
mean.
even more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey. Oh yeah, because I'm such a terrible person. You're right.
That's
I am
perfect.
so mean.
Yeah.
I literally
This
I spent the day
genre-
I spent the day washing fleas off of an abandoned dog that we rescued today. Yeah. I'm
Oh
a
my God,
terrible
what?
person. Yeah, my mother-in-law came across an abandoned dog, and she had to teach a lesson this morning. So my wife and I spent the morning washing the fleas off of said
my
dog and getting it
gosh.
like
Aw.
crated and fed and
guys,
watered.
go buy her book. Like, we gotta support this.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, Ryan
You
saying I'm a
guys-
horrible person. What the shit?
Yeah, I stand by it.
Well, I think that's a great wrapping point right there. We'll
Sorry,
ask one last
Joel.
question.
Yeah.
Ryan, what you been reading? Because you didn't answer that one. What have you been reading other than
Oh.
Flamespitter?
Gosh, I have like it's. I will say I was just because my thought when everyone was talking about what they've been reading, I was like, I wish I just want to read more. But like the thing is like when I'll usually narrate off and on for about 6 to 8 hours a day, and so
Right.
it's really hard to pull myself off of reading to go reading.
Yeah.
So right now, my reads have been future potential projects. So
Ooh,
I know. So I have to keep it under wraps for now.
Mum's
but
the
that's
word.
fair. We
Yeah,
we
so-
respect that. Details later.
Well, actually, no. One
Oh.
of them is official. So we're actually doing a really fun. It's called A Wrinkle and Crime. It's a zombie
I have a wrinkle in time.
cosmetologist who got so good at cosmetology. They are one of Hollywood's top cosmetologists because they had to hide the fact that they themselves are a zombie. It reads like a
wanna listen
TV
to it.
show. It's witty. It's fast. It's
Sounds
a lot of
fun.
fun.
I like
And
this.
That
do
sounds
we-
So I'm going to
fun.
be recording that in January with Sound Booth.
Do we know
That
if
is-
Brian's still in chat? Is Brian still here?
Brian
It's
Norton,
been
you're
too
being
quiet.
summoned.
It's been too quiet for
Yeah,
Brian.
he's probably.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
Brian still
But-
here?
Joel, talk about how you missed that live that one time. Let's that
Yeah, I wasn't there that day,
For what?
35 missed
and
calls
he's
later.
gonna hold it against me for the rest of my life.
So, little story.
Just like you're about to miss work.
Yeah.
he's still got like 50 minutes before he's got to be there.
Oh.
But no, Joel, he was like, yeah, I'm really excited to do the Quest Academy live. I can't wait to have Brian on. Slept through the episode.
I remember,
Not the whole
Joel did
episode.
that.
I got up and was like, "Oh,
I remember
Yeah,
that.
he went fuck, and he's like, I'm not going to be able to join in time, and then joined for the after party.
Weren't
Yeah.
you missing in my last episode, Joel?
No, he was late. He was just late. He showed up
What a
like 5 minutes
piece
before
of
the episode.
shit.
Just a piece of shit.
Mhm.
Hey, today he
I
was the
made it
first one here
today.
other than me. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you were both root tooting and ready.
oh, we were
technically, I was in the podcast waiting room before Richie started." So
Mm.
Well, you have to make up for it, you know?
Yeah.
I meant to get here sooner, but we were running
we
for
call
like,
that penance.
we ran to the store for like cake as a celebration, so I came in
yeah.
late.
I got a hat today.
We got a
I
hat.
did too.
That's nice. But
A
Brian's
hat's
not
a hat,
here.
so.
But for anyone that's listening that can tag Brian, because he did reference my Books and Bourbons days, I have drank enough that it is a reminiscent of the times that the Succubus story was created. And for those of you who are curious, that's none of your business. But it is definitely
Sprinkle that
something.
in there.
It is definitely something that exists that was created during the Books and Bourbon era, and I actually had to like create rules for people not to request it because it got so popular.
Oh my god.
That's awesome.
So you get Ren drunk enough, and she writes a whole new genre.
Oh shit. All right. So new challenge unlocked. We have to try this.
Yeah.
But I think this is a good wrapping point. You know,
Yep.
the third
I
time,
know.
fourth time I've said that.
Yeah.
So,
I would say, yeah, we should actually let Joel
Yeah.
go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
guys, Ren,
What a blast.
Ryan, thank you guys so much. You are both amazing. Oh, Geneva
Yeah.
messaged Ryan.
Thanks, Neva.
Thank you, Geneva.
Thank you, Geneva. We love you.
I was gonna say his
But-
time zone does make it kind of late, so there's
He's in
understandable.
Ireland. It's fine.
I wish I was in Ireland. Fuck.
Same,
Oh,
actually.
too.
But
Same.
you guys are amazing. And congratulations on the double release today.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Hopefully
for
something
our-
sticks, right?
Hey, for our listeners,
Yeah.
go buy the fucking books.
Yeah.
And download the free episode.
Yeah.
Fan, thanks, dude.
Yeah, honestly, do that one.
Like,
At the very
seriously.
least, that's the
Yeah. It's
It's
free
not
on the
no
Sound
money.
Booth Theater app. You can get it on Apple and Android.
Mhm.
It's easy to set up. I
Yeah, I was
have
gonna say-
it.
I have it too.
And
You
Ryan's
can
If
get
I
it
can
through
do
the browser.
Ryan's gonna be blasting it tomorrow and later through the week. We just obviously didn't want to overshadow.
I didn't want to double post on
overshadow
all of
Flamespitter
Facebook.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And-
I'll be posting more about Flamespitter all week. Ryan's gonna be posting about the
And
cinematic
Ryan,
of Aced
if-
and
If you need a quote from me, it's fucking hype. There you go. There's your quote.
Okay.
Just
All right. Thank
yeah.
you. Thank you. I'm gonna put.
That's
I can picture it
essentially
already.
you add Ren and Ryan together, and it's just an awesome combination.
Yeah.
it
So I'm
is,
gonna-
and that's why I said it's one of
Yeah.
my favorite combos. And once again, hey Portal,
Let him
do
it.
just keep it going. So,
Yeah.
but guys, thank you so much. We
Thank
love you
you.
both dearly. You are amazing, wonderful people, and you
Yeah.
killed it with this. So,
Thank
I don't have a schedule yet for if we have a launch party next week. I'm still waiting to hear back. I should have an answer hopefully by Friday. But if we do, it is going to be an earlier episode. It's going to be at 11 a.m. on a Wednesday. Jess, I know you have to work, so you might
Yeah.
not be able to make it.
I won't be there,
But-
but I'll be there in spirit.
But we'll try to do it like on your lunch break or something. You can just tune in on your phone from StreamYard or something. We could try to make it work.
Honestly, if I go to my partner at work and I'm like, hey, I need to go outside for like an hour and do a podcast episode, he'll probably be like, okay.
But
Well, thanks, Earl.
if everything goes according to plan, we will be talking about another sound booth release, The Unexpected Hero, or an Unexpected Hero.
Mhm.
I still remember the original name, So You Want to Be a Hero, which is fun. They wrote it specifically for Jeff to narrate, and the
Fantastic.
cold read of it is fantastic. It's on the Sound Booth app right now. You can go listen to it if you want a little sneak peek. It's really good. Also, download the Sound Booth Theater app. Thing's freaking awesome. I have a lot of books on there.
And it's
so
about to
many
get
things
even
on
more it's about to get even more awesome. The re-release of the getting a complete overhaul.
I was gonna say I didn't know if that was like officially announced or anything yet. Because
again, I don't pay attention in meetings, so
Okay, cool.
I
So
know
Jeff
that
will yell at
information,
us.
and now you do. So
But
Emily will
I've
hate
been
me about it. It's
I've
fine.
been using the Sound Booth Theater app for at least 2-3 years at this point. I know it was before I left Colorado. I was using it because I was getting like all the free stuff that I could, and then
Mhm.
there were Sound Booth Theater exclusive stuff. Like
Mhm.
Tales of a Northblood was exclusive to the Sound Booth Theater app for a while.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I bought that there.
All of the
And then the cassette tape.
kaiju.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kaiju.
That is such a
And
good, good book. Such a good book.
I was gonna say
all
you
of
have
the Dungeon
Kaiju,
Crawler Carl audio
Mhm.
immersion is just on
Mhm.
Sound Booth.
I was gonna say
Stars
Matt-
Have Eyes, the
Stars Have Eyes is
Monster
good.
Hut NYC,
Yep.
Earth Force.
Basically,
from-
all of our cinematics are just
Yeah.
through
the cinematics are top tier. Go support them. They're fantastic. If you have an Audible account and you're like, and you have the membership, at least in the US, Monster Hunt NYC Book 1 is on there, and I think it is the cinematic version. It's fantastic. That just gives you a little taste of what Sound Booth has in store for you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate the
It's you guys are amazing, and like all the nice words you say about us, we do it in return.
hype. I've
because you
never
guys
said
are
one nice thing about
fucking-
you, but I'll start.
Okay, let me pull
I
up
love you, Richie.
our
I
DMs
love
real
you.
quick.
Yeah. No, not those. No.
But guys, thank you so much. Joel, Jess, you guys have anything you want to say before we cut it?
No, just
Just-
pick up all the books. They're all fantastic. All three of them. I can't say enough good things. They're all so different.
Thank you.
I need a petition.
We love you
We're going to
all.
start a petition so that way we can get, hey, Portal, come on. Portal is gonna be
All right.
done with my shit by the end of the year.
I was saying you're
so-
gonna have Portal drop me.
No, don't
Then you make your own decisions.
don't drop Rin. We love her. But
Awesome.
we do have a panel, 2 panels actually during GuildifyCon at the end of the month. We're going to be talking about what it's like to run a Lit RPG podcast, and also we have a special episode with Bruce Centaur and Jessica Threet to talk about Magic's Mantle, which is going to be a fun one.
Hell
And
yeah.
then Jessica Threet and I are doing our very first cold read episode at the end of the month. We're going to do it around Halloween.
Yes.
Stephen Landry is writing something specifically for us.
Can't go wrong with Steven.
Oh no, and
Yeah.
he's got a release coming out at the end of the year or end of the month too for Station Company Core 3.
Yes.
I
And
can't-
I'll be moderating a panel for Guildifycon as well.
Is Station
We're-
4 with Jeffrey Falcon as well?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So can't
It's
go
a
wrong with that
fantastic series.
duo.
And Jessica Threet narrates it, and she's amazing, and we love Jessica.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but when
We're,
I pitched
we're
her,
pulling Jessica into the dark side, if you know. What
oh,
I'm
I
saying.
heard.
Mm.
I've heard because Jeff asked me. He goes, "Hey, who would you recommend?" And she was like one of the first names that just like blurted out. So I was like, "Yeah, love her.
Yeah.
Get her."
Me too. Me too. Yeah, it's happened.
So I'm excited to see what you guys have in store, and I'm just happy she agreed to do cold reads with me because I think it's just a fun little thing. One, it gives me a little experience and gets me over my jitters about narrating because I am almost done with my first project and I can't freaking wait to get it to the world.
Yay!
That's so awesome.
Yeah, but
All right, y'all. Thank you.
this has been fun.
All right, yeah,
Thank you guys
thank
so
you,
much, and we
everybody.
look forward to seeing you again.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.